Blank check with Griffin and David. Blank check with Griffin and David. Don't know what to say or to expect. All you need to know is that the name of the show is Blank Check.
He's not just after the kid anymore. He's after all of us. He's sure as hell after me. I just robbed him. You just betrayed him. You just killed his BFF. And you're dumb enough to be building a case against him. So, unless we all want to die very unpleasant deaths and let Roman go finger fishing in the kid's intestinal tract, we're going to have to podcast together.
Oh, I like that.
Wow.
Amazing.
Thank you, guys.
Amazing.
That was unexpected. I didn't know which word it was going to be.
No, I kept going. It was a spot-on impression, may I say?
Thanks.
It's very well done.
Yeah. I really studied.
Did you method act Margot Robbie?
Yeah. And watch so many YouTube clips. Okay, well, this is Blank Check. And you might notice that today is a little bit different.
We might sound a little bit different.
We might sound a little bit different because there are no men allowed today. None.
Rule number 1.
Applause.
No boys. Yeah, we're going to throw out a Harry Potter musical reference right at the start.
No. Just begin.
Yeah. To clarify, gender is a social construct, but I really wanted to cover Birds of Prey. And to give you guys some history, Griffin and David saw the Joker. Rachel, I think we can like not bleep this out this episode. I'm going to vote not to.
The word Joker.
The word Joker, fuck them.
Yeah.
I feel like for context, let's maybe not have like a million bleeps in this episode.
Right.
Griffin and David saw the Oscar-winning film Joker. And
So mad.
broke their brains. And
All they had were negative thoughts about that movie.
yeah, because we live in a society and it just
we
really
sure
got
do.
to them.
That's what I learned.
Because we've actually covered DCU films, the guys were like, you know what, I think let's maybe stop. And it broke my heart a little bit because I was so excited to cover Birds of Prey. And rather than kind of sit and mope and pour cheese whiz directly into my mouth, I texted David and said, can I do a bonus episode on Birds of Prey? And can I just gather a gang of girls? Because all women are superheroes.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. According to women on stage at the Oscars. I just really want to talk about Birds of Prey. And they said, sure. And it was going to be a surprise bonus Thursday episode. And then the schedule got rearranged and now it's on a Sunday. So no pressure. We're off format. We've never had a Blank Check episode without the hosts.
Yeah.
So
It feels weird.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad.
No.
I feel great about it.
No. Fuck them. I can say, guys, we can insult. We hate them.
Oh my God.
The people who pay my check all the time. Basically, I wanted to gather a bunch of girls I knew who were hyped about this movie and I'd been tweeting about trailers. So I assembled this great team. And we'll all get into different reasons why we were all very excited to talk about this movie. Yeah, so to start with, we have Emma Stefansky.
Hey, I'm back.
She has returned. You may remember her from The Weight of Water,
Oh, man.
Ms. Peregrine. All greats. You were on
Both movies I remember every second of.
Yeah,
They're so good.
they're movies that exist.
Yeah.
And you were on the Thor Ragnarok commentaries.
I sure was.
Yeah, I looked
got-
up the Blank Check Wikia page to like log this.
I got a lot of Instagram DMs after I went on the Ragnarok episode of people being like, I'm following you because you like this movie better than Griffin and David did. And I agree with you more. I was like, cool, thanks.
Yeah, a
to know.
good reason to follow someone. But you are also a writer for Thrillist.
Yes, I am.
I've seen her in Vanity Fair.
Not anymore.
Well, you've written for Vanity Fair.
Yes, I have been.
Google it, it
I
comes
have
up.
Written there before, I've written for a few places. But yeah, I
Right.
work at Thrillist now.
Yeah.
And it's great.
And
I was just there.
yeah, Emma was
I just took their
tweeting
cereal.
about Birds of Prey. And
Yes,
I was like, I know who I want for this episode. Emma Stefansky. And you know who else I said I wanted on this show? I said I wanted Preeti Chhibber, who is an author and podcaster, and she has a very funny Twitter account. You should follow her.
Hard agree.
Yes. You may know her from, she's written for Sci-Fi and Polygon, Podcasts include Desi Geek Girls and strong female characters, which is perfect because this movie is about strong female characters, wouldn't you know?
They're so strong.
They are
They're
the
so
strongest.
female.
In so many different ways.
In many different ways, yeah. And you've got some books on the horizon in the Marvel and Star Wars universe. I know I'm
do.
very excited for A Jedi You Will Be.
It is like kind of the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm not gonna lie.
It's the cutest thing. I love it. And he's not even a baby, and I love it. Yoda can be cute when he's not a baby.
He's like tiny old man Yoda. It's very, very cute.
It's not like Return of the Jedi, like rotting, just like slowly tipping over. Yeah.
Very old.
Yeah. And Luke's like, can you tell me anything? And he's like, I would literally rather die than talk to you right now, Luke. I'm just going to pass out. That is not, I don't think that's the Yoda you're writing about. I think he's a lot more like cute and positive.
That was a really spot on Yoda impression.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was really good.
Luke, you're really exhausting. I'm just going to.
To be fair, like a forever nap versus having to like deal with the action, the consequences of your actions. Forever nap, right?
Right. Well, and then you end up being like a cool blue ghost anyway. I feel like there's not a lot of like consequences for like if you're a Jedi, you're just like, I'll just like float, and then that way I can just kind of like pop in and out when I want to. I can catch lightsabers for some reason.
Perfect.
I'm gonna try not to get. I've already complained about Star Wars enough. So anyway, we got you, someone who's got ties with Disney. So now we can talk all about a completely different company, specifically the one that wars against it. And then we also have my good friend Ashleigh Heaton.
Oh, hello.
Here she is.
It's
and
me.
Ashleigh Heaton has never been on the show as well.
No, I haven't.
No, I did shout her out in the Star Wars episode.
You may remember me as the Raylo fan, aka Raylo Trashley. That's me.
God.
So hi guys.
Yeah, we have our differences, but we make it work.
We do.
You did it. How does it feel?
It feels really great. We're stronger than ever.
We're stronger than ever. We both, I think, equally did not like that movie. But Ashleigh and I have seen I think the big one is like you and I saw Avengers together.
Yes.
And that was like when we established like, okay, we are both like the only people freaking out over this, of the like college group that we are with right now.
Yeah, we went with a bunch of other people that weren't as invested, and so it was just like you and me sitting next to each other.
Yeah,
and I remember specifically when
it was Hulk.
It was Hulk when Mark Ruffalo like turns to the camera and he says like that's my secret, and like you and I like held hands, and then he turned back and he said I'm always angry, and then he like hulked out, and we just like
did we like float out of our seats?
I think we did. We levitated.
Yeah, we briefly levitated, and then since then we've seen Wonder Woman together. I think we saw The Last Jedi together.
We did.
We angrily texted about Captain Marvel together.
Yes.
But Ashleigh has also done voice acting.
I have.
She's a D&D champ.
Well, all right, sure.
Yeah. But all right, so Ashleigh's like one of the nerdiest people I know. I hate to say that, it's like a high compliment.
It is. It's
also
the highest
one of
compliment.
the people I know. She's like, let me borrow her comics.
Absolutely.
And you also work at Penguin Random House.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. And you publish some real nerdy shit there.
We do. Yeah. So I work specifically on the Del Rey team, which is kind of our sci-fi and fantasy branch. And so we do like trade originals, which is like, totally new, not connected to any sort of universe. And then we also do licensed stuff. So we work on Star Wars as our most famous. We're going to be working on Critical Role books if anyone's interested in Critical Role, and a bunch of other stuff.
But, you can tweet at Ashleigh and yell at her about how stuff's not canon anymore. She loves that.
I love
so
that,
cool.
and I definitely have control over it. So definitely give me a shout.
Yeah. She can call up George Lucas and be like, hey, is there any way this can work out again? And he's like, you know what, for you, Ashleigh.
Yeah, I've got him on speed dial. That's what he's for. Yeah.
Right.
It is in the welcome packet when you start working on these properties.
Yes. George Lucas's personal cell phone number and Kathleen Kennedy. Yes.
Says call anytime with a little heart next to it.
Right. Yeah. We also have Rachel in the house.
Oh, hey, that's me.
Here she is. Rachel on the mic. Rachel also saw Birds of Prey.
I did. There was literally a 10-year-old girl sitting next to me.
What did the 10-year-old girl think of this super girl power movie?
Well, her parents didn't bring her out in the middle of it, so I assume that she was liking it. Yeah. I have to say, just no matter what my thoughts are on the movie itself, my 5-year-old little cousin took so many photos of all the posters in Times Square in front of it because she was like, women on posters, yay, girl power.
We
I'm like,
stand women on posters.
We love when a woman is on a poster.
We love it. And they have big old hammers and shit
When a
like
woman
that.
has a hammer,
extremely brightly colored
that's
clothing.
how we win.
Not enough.
Hammers and hair ties. That's all we
Oh
need.
my God. And then you have me. I do anything you read on our Twitter account. That's me. I'm very funny. My name is Ashleigh Ferraguto. I'm taking over this podcast because I can do what I want because I'm a woman.
Yes.
Girl power. So anyway, we'll get into Birds of Prey in a second. I just want to give you guys like a heads up. Like we already established I'm not Griffin and David. I don't have an insane memory like Griffin. I do flail my hands as much as David. Maybe almost as much. Emma can attest
You're
to
both
this.
hand talkers, yeah. That's great.
Yeah. I'm Italian. I'll just like
these
Lady
hands.
Gaga. I'm Italian. I wave my arms a lot. But yeah, this is just gonna be like a little off format. It's just gonna be fun. And
It's going to be fun.
it's gonna be
God damn
fucking
it.
fun. And if you don't like it, you're sexist.
But please keep listening.
Please continue. You can turn this off right now. Please don't do it.
Yeah,
We want to
don't.
get our
No.
numbers up. Thank you. Did I talk about what this show is? The show is a podcast about filmographies. It's about directors who have massive success early in their career and are given a series of blank checks to make whatever crazy passion projects they want. And sometimes those checks clear and sometimes they bounce. Maybe. And yeah, today we're off format to talk about Birds of Prey. We've done a whole bunch of introducing. So let's just get right into it. What did we think of this movie?
It's great. I had a great time.
Oh, loved it.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was, I agree. I thought it was just super fun.
Yeah.
Great. I think we're done, right?
Yeah.
In the
That's it.
podcast, thank you so much.
Shortest blank check episode ever.
No, I had such a fun time. And like to the point that when I like got home after seeing this movie, like I couldn't fall asleep because I was like still thinking about it. I was like, oh wow, like wowee. Like
Yeah. You stayed up so late. Ashley, you stayed out till 1.
I don't know. Like party animal over here, 1 o'clock. But yeah, no, I had a great time. And also when I was watching this movie, I don't know about anyone else, but like the whole time I couldn't stop smiling. Like I just, everything like I was either like smiling or I was smiling and saying like, that was very violent, but I loved it. Like that was kind of my reaction to this film. I had a blast.
You brought up Avengers earlier, and that's kind of the same sort of experience. I feel like I had I remember going to see Avengers and being like, this was just so fun. Like it was such a fun, exciting movie, and there wasn't all this like baggage associated with the brand at the time. And that's what this felt like to me. It was just sheer enjoyable like entertainment. Not necessarily a perfectly constructed film, but sheer fun.
Yeah. I do wish there were a little more like legs breaking in like horrible directions in Avengers.
Oh my God.
Breaking one way and then re-breaking the other way.
That seems like something Steve Rogers could do, right? I mean, theoretically, if like Steve Rogers kicks you, like that's what should happen.
Oh my gosh. It's just the shield goes one way. he throws
Right.
it,
The
and then it
shield could
boomerangs
like
back.
really fuck people up, but Avengers, not rated R. This movie is.
It is the kind of thing where like I watch those Marvel movies and I see them like punch people and I'm like, that person is dead.
Yeah.
They just killed him.
Steve Rogers' shield should work like the thing that Xena Warrior Princess has.
Oh, yeah.
Where you just toss it and it just like slices through
Yeah.
a person.
Kevin Feige, we have notes.
Yeah, I kind of wish Kevin Feige had like watched this movie and he's just like, we should have had more murder and mayhem.
Oh God, that's what we should have been doing this whole time.
Yeah, Thor's hammer did not fuck enough shit up.
Oh my God.
They
It
didn't
you
have
hit
any
someone with
hair
that,
ties.
they
Thor
die.
could have used a hair tie more of the time.
Oh,
He had
absolutely.
his hair up halfway up though sometimes.
I feel like I desperately want a Loki and Harley crossover now.
Oh, it would
Marvel,
be extremely chaotic.
settle your differences. Make it happen.
The ultimate crossover event.
This is the one that people want right
That's
now.
what pulls people together. An R-rated.
Our anti-heroes.
Yeah. What did you think, Emma? Was your initial reaction?
I liked it. I think I maybe liked it a little bit less than everyone else here, maybe. I
Get
don't know.
out.
But I like, I just,
Sexist.
I know, I should go. I'm
You're not a real
basically a
feminist.
boy.
That's just like how this
I
works.
know, I'm sorry, everyone. But no, I did. I had a good time. I liked more of the actiony stuff than the like storytelling stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
I had some problems there, but like honestly, you know, at the end of the day, I felt like a bird of prey myself.
Wow.
Watching.
What kind of bird would you say?
Actually, this is a question that my creative writing teacher asked me in high school once, and I immediately had an answer ready for her. I said I was a secretary bird, which, if you know what that is,
secretary bird?
Those are some beautiful birds.
Rachel knows. They're gorgeous.
A secretary.
They have like gorgeous eyelashes.
Yeah.
That also feels kind of like sexist. You just go straight to the bird.
Oh my gosh, this is the one that's in
Oh, they have
Nebraska.
some crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, they look cool.
Yeah, yeah,
It's the one woman bird. She's a secretary.
Yeah. She's got like a little keyboard. I'm seeing here.
But they're great.
Yeah. I hope like Google searches go up for their this bird
Well, we should track
specifically
that, absolutely.
when this
Yeah.
episode drops. I would say I'm a vulture. Am I just saying that because I like Michael Keaton?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Another crossover
okay.
that should happen.
I know. He's done it. Yeah, he can cross over.
He can do
He's
whatever he
done
wants.
both.
Has
I
somebody
really
pointed out that he didn't die a hero, so he lived long enough so that he was the villain?
Oh my God. We might
just
have to
like
take a
Tammy
minute.
on The Bachelor last week.
Oh, God.
Right, Emma?
I have so much to say.
We have so much to say.
Now's
The
not the
Bachelor is on tonight. No, we can talk about The Bachelor. I'm going to let this happen. There can be a
It is.
crossover.
We are all girls, and
We
by
are all
definition,
girls.
we love The Bachelor.
Listen, I like it because it's psychologically interesting. I don't like it because of like, I know it's very, you know, classically sexist and they hand out roses and it's all like a test to make women fight. But it's very interesting to watch people like express their crazy emotions.
The best part
screen.
I will say about I guess it was the most recent one, which was last week.
Yes.
The episode was Tammy and what's her name? McKenna.
McKenna with a Y, M-Y-K.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sitting next to each other on that little couch
Yes.
and trying so hard to have a fight, but they just couldn't
They
think
take
of what to
turns
say.
thinking of like speeches, and then McKenna's like, "You made me find my damn voice."
Like the producer's like, okay, you go. And then they give him like a minute to come up with some like mean sentence.
Yeah.
Great TV.
Wow.
I feel bad I haven't watched The Bachelor before.
It's
Wow.
really
No, don't worry, me
Oh,
neither.
thank God.
Guys, you're missing out.
Oh,
it's
jeez.
really fun.
I'm sure it is. I don't have cable, so like
Neither do I.
can't.
That's not an excuse,
Get
buddy.
a Roku, and then
internet
use your
age.
parents log in.
ABClivestream.com.
Okay.
That's how I watched the Oscars. Oh, should we do it quick? Yeah, the Oscars were last night,
Oscars.
guys. We're gonna be all over the place.
The Academy Awards.
No. There's a connection. They played an ad for The Bachelor during the Oscars
did.
that I found to be very off-putting
worst
and
thing I've ever seen in my
uncomfortable.
life.
It was too many hands.
I was like, what is this? It was so unsettling.
It was. And also, for context, there's only 6 girls left on The Bachelor right now. And there's like 20 hands
I
like
lost track of
circling
how
on
many.
this
I was covering
man.
my face by the time that ad was over. I
Yeah.
was so uncomfortable.
They're doing a ghost parody. And then Whoopi Goldberg's head. Do you think she was actually there? Do we think they green screened in?
No, green screen.
I think they
Whoopi's not coming down for
No,
that.
absolutely not.
I think they've taken like a CGI sort of scan of Whoopi Goldberg's body so that they can use it whenever they want.
Yeah. Or she just says like, "You in danger." And then it works.
The only line she's recorded for them.
My absolute favorite quote from Whoopi Goldberg is someone once interviewed her asking like why she's not married still, and she said, "I don't want someone in my house." Which
And
is
theme of today's episode.
Fair.
We don't want anyone in our house.
no. But yeah, I feel like we got to talk about Parasite's big win. We already talked about Joker, equally important win, I would say.
Okay, then we just discussed it. So Parasite. Oh, I'm so happy. I still have not seen Parasite. Whoops. But I'm just like genuinely happy like that this is like the first like we've changed like to international film rather than foreign language film.
Yeah.
That
This is the first international film to ever win an Oscar.
Exactly. And like I'm also just thinking of like the gif of the director just like looking at his like Oscar and just
Joon-ho,
like,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh
just
my
like
God.
laughing at it, and I'm just like, oh, it just brings me
Yeah,
so much
you
joy.
don't have
Everyone's
to have
so
seen the
happy.
movie to
Yeah.
appreciate Bong Joon-ho just like delightfully just like looking at his Oscar and then like giggling to himself and then looking at the audience.
I was like
No,
thinking,
but Bong Joon-ho coming out and being like, we really considered the Oscars to be a very local ceremony.
and then winning Best Picture.
And then winning everything.
Yes.
It was so joyous.
Basically like negged the Oscars like into giving him an award. It really, but this is like, it feels like the last thing we've since Moonlight were like a movie that really felt like the best movie that came out this year. Actually
won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a very satisfying award show despite no hosts. I missed the hosts. I want a damn host.
But we got
It's
Eminem
very
this year.
awkward.
What the fuck was that?
I loved it. I was
talk
so thrilled.
about this
I said
fever
like
dream?
seconds before, I was like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if Eminem walked out on stage? And then he did.
And then he never stopped. He kept going.
And he
We're
was
like,
there
we're doing
for
the whole song. The whole song.
But I don't understand. There's not an anniversary. It was
No.
like we got an introduction to an introduction to an introduction to an introduction. And then Eminem came out and sang a 17-year-old rap song from a biopic.
Right.
And it was very confusing.
See, like the only logic I can gather is that they're like, I kind of dug the compilation of music.
It was cool, yeah.
Because they were like, you know what's important to movies?
Yeah, it was great.
Music. And you're like, yeah.
That's so true.
I would agree with this point. And then like halfway through, you're kind of like, this is going on a little bit long. And then they start to play like clips. They play the clip from 8 Mile, but the beat from like Lose Yourself hasn't kicked in yet. And you're like, this clip of 8 Mile is going on for a while. And it keeps going. And then you're like, oh no, is this again? Emma's just like rubbing her hands together.
I loved it. I genuinely was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
But I really want to know like what the production logic was. Like they wanted to like recreate a classic song. You know what I mean? Like what's a really important
what do you
song
think
that we
of
can do?
Lose Yourself.
Well, like, how do you know exactly? Like, what millennial was sitting back there and being like,
Billie Eilish
I
looked
remember
very
freshman
confused.
year of college.
Yeah.
You know what? Can I just make one point? I'm furious that they didn't cut to Leonardo DiCaprio's face when they showed My Heart Will Go On.
Oh wow.
That would have been good.
Furious at the like lack of. I just want to know what his face.
What if he was like
at that moment?
deeply sobbing, like just remembering the emotion?
Remembering how he like skipped the Oscars that year because he wasn't nominated.
Oh yeah. I wish they had cut to Leo during Lose Yourself because then we could have seen his girlfriend be like, I've never heard this in my life.
What is this song?
Because I wasn't born when it came out.
I don't even. Oh my god.
You know, age is
A construct?
age is a social construct, dude. Come on.
You know, there was like a real show of like feminism at the awards. Is there any?
Sure.
Did we sense some like really strong? I hate to say it, but like Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel came out together, and I felt like it was supposed to be exciting. And mostly, I was just like, I don't like Gal Gadot's dress.
I did not like it either.
everyone.
She reminded me.
No,
of,
I didn't care for
She
it.
reminded me of the beaver from Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
Like she looks like the beaver in the tutu. I was like, wait a second, I've seen this hot look before. It was not good. But Brie looked amazing.
She had a cape.
She had a cape. I mean,
I love
of
a
course she
cape.
did. I was like, her and Natalie Portman both had capes, and I was like, well, I gotta find a cape now, I guess. This is now my thing.
Your
But yeah.
capes.
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver looked great too, just for the record.
Yeah.
Did
that
we think it
green.
felt like a little weird? They're like, we grew up. I always think it's weird whenever they're like, we grew up like admiring you.
Right.
And I'm like,
Especially
this
when
feels
you-
like a little bit like, bitch.
Yes, no, I feel like Sigourney Weaver was like, I'm sorry.
Is there a better way to phrase this?
Rude.
That doesn't like describe how old I am in relation to you, Brie Larson?
It's also
Thanks.
weird when that happens because you know that like it's been like someone's already written that down for them and like they all knew it was coming. So it's just like, why are you saying this now? I don't know.
Yeah. The all women are superheroes really got, because I thought they were just gonna like go somewhere with it, and I'm just all women.
That's all you need to
Tommy
know.
Lauren too, sure, all right. Feels pretty broad,
You have
honestly.
to support her. She's a woman.
But not enough to get nominated though. So
No,
No.
they're not that super. You don't like them that much. But women we do like.
Women we do like
The Birds of Prey.
are the Birds of Prey. Wow,
Let's go.
look at
It's a good
that
segue. I loved it.
transition. That's smooth segue. My thoughts on this movie. I basically was on board like minute one when it opened with a goddamn cartoon.
That was great.
It was so good, and it to me just like immediately captures, like, you do kind of have this challenge of like, how do you bring in people who don't necessarily know who Harley is, especially outside the Joker, because she is like, essentially quote unquote the Joker's girlfriend. Like that's her character introduction in Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
And
When she was just like a walk-on like henchman for a
Right.
really long time, like that, she was just like a fun like female character that they just like put in. They were like, I don't know, she'll like help out the Joker. And then at one point they were like, oh, like she can be like Joker's girlfriend because like we like her and she can keep coming on. And then it wasn't until like a little later they were like, hey, like this is actually, we could make like an interesting like origin story out of that.
Right.
And then it kind of like spiraled from there.
It spiraled.
Spiraled, if you will. But yeah, because she really, it's interesting to think of like Harley Quinn was never supposed to be like a main character ever.
Absolutely not.
She was supposed to be in the background. And so I think it's awesome that she gets to have her own
because it
movie.
does feel like there's like the occasional. I feel like the Batman villainess is like, we need a new chick in here, and they're like, it's a sexy lady. She likes plants.
Oh my
Here you
gosh.
go, it's poison ivy.
Though, did you? So
That's what they said in the pitch meeting.
She likes
I was
plants.
there.
I
That's all I need to know about her.
Give her a cactus. I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah. Did you hear that there's now like a new girlfriend for the Joker? Now that like in the comics, like
Who is it?
Breaking news. So Harley's now off on doing her own thing, like broken up with the Joker.
Right.
But then they just couldn't fathom the Joker not having like a sidekick.
Even though like the Batman, ruined my own joke. The Joker's real girlfriend is Batman, as established. in the Lego
As
Batman
established,
movies.
absolutely.
It's established in the Batman Lego movie.
Oh my God, it was so good. We can circle back to the Batman Lego movie. I do have thoughts about that as well.
Yeah.
But no, like they were like, okay, Joker needs a girlfriend, and so they gave her
He's
another
like a wife guy.
He's He's very dependent. I mean, it checks out, but but now her name is Punchline.
What?
She's also a clown girl. They've got another clown girl,
And she
I'm
has
like,
the word punch in her name. That's
Yeah,
fun.
Punchline.
I like that.
I mean, I like
Historically abusive person.
yeah,
With a
yeah.
sidekick named Punchline.
Yeah,
Fun.
I like the pun. End of list. That's it. Everything else, I'm just like, why do we do this? Like, there's no reason to like. I don't know.
The Joker can like only date girls who have like fun punny
We
names.
know why.
We know.
We know why.
Sigh. But anyway, Harley's better off without him.
Yeah.
He's got a bad rebound.
Just how this movie starts with a cartoon and then her, being like, by the way, we know suicide exists. Suicide Squad exists.
We know suicide exists.
We know suicide exists. We know Suicide Squad exists. It's a rough movie, but I was like immediately, to me, Batman the Animated Series, and every time people talk about Harley Quinn, there's like rankings of like, there's been more iterations of her. There's, Harley Quinn, Rebirth, all these new comics, but when it comes down to it, everyone loves Harley because of Batman the Animated Series. So it honestly, it feels like the correct choice to be like, we're opening with a goddamn cartoon.
Yeah,
and then we are going to continue this movie, even though it is not animated, as if it is. And I fucking love that shit.
It really did have like that kind of like manic tone that you see.
She has a mallet. She likes smashing stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, yeah. Because there have been like Looney Tunes comparisons, but she was like full on Bugs Bunny the whole movie. She was a total stinker. Like I think my favorite was just like when Montoya goes to catch her and like obviously doesn't freeze for like even a split second. She just like grabs her sandwich and then like runs across the street. I was like, I feel like they really got Harley. She is a little stinker.
Yeah.
She's like, she has her like nice moments, but like they never kind of lose sight of her being like a baddie. Yeah, and even like the way she like dressed up with like the cloth when she breaks into Gotham PD is very like Bugs Bunny, like showing up like, oh, hello, Elmer Fudd, and like seduces him in full drag.
I've come to report a terrible crime.
A terrible crime. Line read of the year.
It was
terrible crime.
What I like about that bit is that like she dressed up just to deliver that line because then she immediately takes everything off. It doesn't matter at all. She was just like, no, I just thought that would be really funny.
She wanted that little moment for herself. And then
that was great.
back to business.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think another reason that I really pushed for this episode is because I am a noted Batman and Robin #1 fan.
Stan.
Correct.
Even.
Stan, even though that does not come from Eminem. Are we circling back to Eminem? Is like where that term
It all comes
originated?
from.
Oh, man.
It all does. Maybe that's why they invited him onto the Oscars. They're like, people like Stans, right? So like Eminem, what if he performed? I stand this movie. I fucking love Batman and Robin. It's
a good movie.
It's my favorite Batman movie. You laugh, Emma, but it's so good.
I laugh with you.
I think because obviously Christopher Nolan's fine. Dark Knight's great, good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We like it. And everyone shits on Batman and Robin for quote unquote ruining the franchise.
Ruined.
But
not at all. I'm kidding.
If you watch Batman and Robin, to me, it's like it's just doing what Adam West did. You know what I mean? It's just like the old 60s. Like,
it's very cheeky. It's very corny.
It's a man who dresses up as a bat.
Yeah, that's silly.
And fights crime.
That's funny.
With a boy in tights and like a guy in purple and a Riddler. It's stupid. Batman can be really dumb. So why not just let it be dumb? Give him nipples. Let Mr. Freeze.
Let them have nipples.
Almost 30 ice puns.
Oh my!
Throughout the course of a 2-hour movie, and put him ahead of George Clooney. Yeah. He's like the first credited person, and he's like barely. Arnold Schwarzenegger like barely filmed that movie. Yeah. He said his lines, and then like extras play Mr. Freeze the whole time.
Did you know that like when they were filming that movie, apparently Arnold Schwarzenegger had to put like basically the equivalent of like battery acid in his mouth to make his mouth glow blue.
It was worth it.
It's crazy. Ew. Like I can't remember what the concoction is exactly, but it was like some crazy chemical that they had to put in there to like.
We'll be posting the recipe.
Yes. A fine cocktail of bad decisions.
Enough, like Mr. Freeze cosplay. There really should be.
Oh God,
that would be so complex.
Just like a giant. Well, obviously, because you need diamonds to power that suit. It's very difficult.
Expensive.
You have to steal the diamonds.
You got to go full method for this.
Oh my God.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
There's someone at the door, I think. Do you want to? You're closer. You should get it.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How y'all ladies doing today?
We're doing all right.
Just dropped a y'all in there, even though I'm from Brooklyn or Gotham. I don't know. They're the same. I just feels like it really matches my personality, which is a little kooky and crazy. Have I introduced myself?
You haven't. Who are you?
I am Harley freaking Quinn.
Oh my God. I should have known from the bicolored hair and the shorts. Is it shorts or are you overalls today?
I'm in overalls.
Okay,
Can you not see under the table? No booty shorts today. I'm a free woman. I can wear whatever I want. I've been going through like a lot of changes.
Oh, I heard.
I feel like a new woman. I dumped him.
I heard about that.
You dumped him?
Good for you, girl.
Yeah. I dumped Mr. J.
Oh, good for you.
I dumped Mr. J. And it was a long time coming, but I feel really good about it. It's been really hot. And you know what's really helped with this?
What is it?
Something called Talkspace.
Oh.
You guys tried this?
No. What is this?
Talkspace is a convenient and affordable way to get the support of a licensed therapist.
No
which is
way.
good because I don't really have health insurance, if you couldn't tell. Gotham's not very good about their wide insurances. You can match with one of over 5,000 therapists based on your preferences from the privacy of your device, which is great because I specifically have to talk about a lot of issues. And I feel like they're very good at handling them because I did study psychiatrist myself.
That's true. That's true. I do know that about you.
I have a PhD. That's why I just said the word psychiatrist instead of psychiatry. Therapy is very important. It's the thing that I used to teach my clients before I went clinically insane. But I'm working through my breakup and I'm talking to this therapist and I think it's really good and you guys should really check it out.
Therapy is awesome, legitimately.
You know what my favorite feature of all is?
What?
Due to doctor-patient confidentiality, they can't call the cops on you. So that Renee Montoya, she's not going to ruin my sandwich again.
How
very
convenient for you. That's great.
Convenient.
So
Not
I
relatable.
recommend that you guys match with a therapist suited to your needs and preferences and start messaging with them on day one. Learn stress management, communication skills. I'm very good at communication skills. Have you guys noticed my communication's very good?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're very talkative.
I'm very talkative. Behavior hacks and useful tips to help achieve your goals. So start 2020 off strong with Talkspace. It's the support you need to help achieve your goals at a price you can afford. And you can get $100 off your first month when you use promo code CHECK when you sign up. That's promo code CHECK. Don't wait for another year to go by. No matter what 2019 was like, obviously mine was pretty rough. I was with the Clown Prince of Crime. You heard about it, whatever. Set yourself up for success in 2020 and match with your perfect therapist today at Talkspace.com or download the mobile app. Don't forget to use the code CHECK for $100 off your first month, which is very good. I have very little money. That's Talkspace.com. Promo code CHECK. I also brought this up because I bought Batman and Robin and Batman Returns. I did my research for you guys. You're welcome. I also watched Suicide Squad. We'll get there later.
Wow.
You sure did.
I sure
Took one for the team.
did. I really did. Took one for our squad.
Yeah.
This squad. Oh, God.
The Pod Squad.
The Pod Squad with a K
Yes.
and a W.
Yes.
But Joel Schumacher apparently began almost every take by he would just yell, "Remember everyone, this is a cartoon." And I think a lot of people forgot that.
Yeah.
And it really felt like Birds of Prey got the opportunity to go back there again. It opens with the cartoon. They're watching Looney Tunes throughout the movie in Harley's apartment. And then there's just a lot of great physical humor.
I was thinking, while I was watching it, this is like watching Who Framed Roger Rabbit without any of the cartoon characters in it. The same sort of heightened performances from the live action people.
Oh my God, Chris Messina is totally the scary weasel in that movie.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was my take about it.
The weasels are really upsetting in Roger Rabbit.
They're frightening.
The one with the straight jacket that even as a ghost he fucks up the Acme machine.
Don't like that.
Don't like it at all.
Nope.
No.
It was really nice, getting to see women do that kind of active, campy humor, absurdist Looney Tunes-esque humor, because I feel like we never get to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Women don't get to be silly very often, especially not in superhero movies like this, where they have to be hot and cool at the same time.
Right. Which is kind of I think Wonder Woman had to break that barrier a little bit. Because
She was funny.
She was funny, but Wonder Woman is also, you know what I mean? There was so much pressure because she's such an iconic character. And that's what was so fun about Harley is they have the freedom to just be this wacky person who's going to be in more of the alleyways of Gotham and not
But all of them is what I loved
Right.
about it. It wasn't just Harley, right? It was every single character had moments of that kind of I thought Huntress, who, oh my God, Mary
Elizabeth Winstead.
Elizabeth Winstead,
Thank
my
you.
new crush.
I was there's so many names. I thought she was so funny and so good in this role. I obviously, we all know Scott Pilgrim and we know how great she was as Ramona, but it was so deadpan. This, I was you get to be silly and funny, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Her parts got the biggest laughs from me personally whenever she did her sad flashbacks to her family. That was hilarious. No,
I loved it when her family was murdered in front of her.
so funny. But her sort of this stoicism of her character, and then the fact that she can't get anyone to call her what she wants people to know her.
The practicing in the mirror was a nice touch as well.
So good.
They call me.
That's not right. That's not right.
The crossbow killer?
Crossbow killer.
Can I?
No.
Can I brag for a second?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was in high school, I did an internship at the Dallas Morning News, and I got to interview Mary Elizabeth Winstead when she was on the press tour for Scott Pilgrim. I've got a picture with her and Brandon Routh. Yeah. I am 17 years old. I'm a wee babe. It was probably so insulting for me to walk into the room and be like, "Hi, I'm here to give the interview," or whatever.
This child is going to talk to us.
They're like, Jesus.
Honestly, I
they're
would
just
rather be interviewed. I feel like they probably get so many of the same fucking questions. It's more exciting to see.
Yeah.
That's why all my favorite interviews are they, for some reason, look like a 5-year-old in the chair. And they're like, "What? Why did you like being Iron Man?"
Did you like? And they're like, "Oh, so cute." Yeah, no, exactly. But there's my bragging rights.
What was the interview like? What did you get to ask her about?
I feel like I blacked out. I went
Fair.
in. I went in
saw
with
her in
all
this
of these
movie.
I wrote all of these questions down, and this is my first time I had ever met a famous person because I grew up in a pretty small town. And yeah, it was just and it
you
was
saw
weird.
Sky High and it blew your mind. Another
my
superhero
mind.
movie, Mary Elizabeth.
Oh yes,
Winstead is in. I feel like Griffin would get mad at me if I didn't shout out Sky High today. I had to drop it.
Yeah.
Continue.
But yeah, I mean, I remember it was in a club in downtown Dallas, and they gave us I think it was 15 whole minutes, which is apparently a really long time to spend with talent. And I was like, that doesn't seem like any time at all. But like within like 5 minutes, I had asked the like standard questions, and then I was like schwitzing, like, Brandon, are you going to do more Superman or something? And it was just like, and then like very suavely is just like, well, if they ask me, of course, like has practiced that line, like knew it. And I was just like, oh, okay. They could tell I was nervous, but it was still really fun. I'm glad I did it. Yeah. So anyway, I need to.
And then he got fired by DC the next day.
Exactly. It was just like, whoops.
What was it like working with Kevin Spacey, famous actor that we all love? Oh. What year is it anyway?
Let me be frank.
Oh my gosh. Mary Elizabeth as the Huntress was amazing.
She was great.
Yeah.
Favorite part.
Yeah. I think my favorite was Journey Smollett as Black Canary. I loved what she did with that part.
All of her outfits were amazing.
Journey Smollett Bell?
Johnny Smollett Bell? I think. Yeah.
You have to say the question mark.
Smollett Bell?
I was on a Smollett Bell.
I don't know. Because I was looking her up and she's like listed as both in like multiple places. So I'm just like, I'm going to go with the one that's always everywhere.
So her family, she has like a few brothers and sisters. They're all actors. Her brother's kind of infamous now. But she's been acting for a while.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. I was just like, wait, how is this the first thing I'm seeing you in? I need to.
Good question.
I need to find your entire filmography.
So good. Have you seen Roll Bounce? This is the thing I wanted to talk about the most.
Oh no, I have not, and I can feel you raring to go.
Has anyone else seen the movie Roll Bounce?
Nope.
Oh my god. None of you watched VH1 Movies That Rock, apparently. It was like that and like The Wedding Singer, just like on constantly.
So sorry.
Roll Bounce is a movie starring Bow Wow.
Oh God.
And
oh my God, I do know this movie.
Wait, what is this about? What is this?
I will tell you.
Okay.
It is about Bow Wow. And it's like the 70s. And he's in Chicago. And then him and his friends like have fun by like skating on their like 4-wheel roller skates in the street. And then they like learn choreography. And they enter a competition against this guy, Sweetness. Sweetness is like the star of this like roller skating rink. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's like a Cinderella story, kind of like the rough and tumble kids are like they want to win this competition. Also, Bow Wow's mom died, and he like beats up a car, and his dad's like, "You're gonna learn today, Bow Wow," and he's like, "My mom died. I'm sad."
Oh my God.
That's a really good recap, you guys. I didn't spoil it. You should still watch it because it's like the soundtrack's great. Anyway, Journey Smollett plays like the like nerdy girl who's like friends with all the boys, and she has braces, and they're like, shut up, we don't care, you're just like in our friend group, like you're not a real girl. And she gets her braces off,
and she was
like,
hot the whole time.
She's hot, and then they all say damn at the same time.
That's funny. That's the height of comedy.
Like, it's the greatest like blow up moment. It's like very iconic. Her outfit is also like kind of like Black Canary-esque because it's like the very 70s influence. Anyway, I highly recommend watching Roll Bounce. I think it's on YouTube. For like $1.99.
Wait, when was this movie released?
Like 2003, like Megan Good's in it. Like it's a very early 2000s cast. It's very fun.
I will seek it out.
But yeah, I thought of it and I was like, I'm kind of mad that they didn't get Journey on roller skates. They just had
Margot on that would have been a good homage to Roll Bounce.
Yeah. No interviewers asked her about it. I'm kind of mad.
Oh no.
But anyway, I am proud of at least Margot Robbie taking advantage. She's like, I learned ice skating for I, Tonya. So
she knows how to do so much stuff. I watched her Hot Ones, and she talked about
she's
like
breaking down in that.
Oh my God, it's really good. It's great because she's always like, oh, I don't think I can do this.
She stops at like 3, but she goes to the end. I was really proud of her.
But she talked about how she learned how to pickpocket, and she's like really good at it. Yeah. Oh, I guess it's just skills you pick up on the road when you're an actor.
I'm like low-key kind of scared of her. Like in like the best way. Like I'm like terrified, but also like step on me. You know
if I ever met her, I'd probably explode.
Yeah.
That's the sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah. It would be
I feel
great,
like after you play Tonya Harding, like,
oh my God,
I would not want to fuck with you. But she learned.
Did you guys watch that clip where she was talking about what a big Harry Potter fan she is on Grandma?
What? No.
Oh my God, it's amazing. She's sitting next to Daniel Kaluuya, who says that he's like, I think I read 6 of them, and she is so horrified that he didn't read the 7th book. It gets into that territory where like you're super into something and the people around you are like, I regret asking you about this thing. I regret bringing it up because now I feel very uncomfortable about how excited you are about this like random thing.
Right.
Oh my God.
That's how into Harry Potter she is.
Maybe that balances out a little bit.
Like, yeah, I was like, we should be friends.
Margot.
I'd love to be
Let's
friends
talk
with
about
her.
Harry Potter.
I wonder.
Margot, we'll be your friends.
Margot probably a Slytherin, I would think. Do you think? She's very ambitious.
I don't know. That interview, I was like, that was like big Hufflepuff.
I was going to say, with nerding out that hard.
I guess I'm
interview.
associating her with the character, not a person.
I mean, Harley's definitely Slytherin.
Yeah, for sure.
Margot's ambitious. She has her own production company.
Yeah. Which
She,
made I, Tanya.
Lucky chap.
Which really pushed for this movie. It's also making the
Just the
actress
one.
whose name I can't think of. I'm looking. Promising Young Woman. I thought of it. I didn't even have to Google it.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that's a good trailer.
Promising Young Woman is a good trailer, and it's one of those movies that I'm like, I think I want to see it, but I've got to be in a good place before I watch it. Because I'm sure it'll be cathartic. But I was just like,
Wait, is this the
Carrie Mulligan.
Oh my God, what's
Carrie
her name?
Mulligan,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Carrie Mulligan.
Yeah.
Oh, I read a terrible review out of Sundance.
Like a negative one or a badly written one?
Yeah, no, like a negative
Okay.
one. Like that movie makes some like hella bad decisions.
Oh, no.
I know critics who liked it, so maybe it'll go one way.
yeah.
Okay.
I hope so.
Your mileage may vary.
Well, while we're on that,
Exactly.
because I have ADD, and this kind of works in the sense of a Harley Quinn episode, I feel like this is kind of like a good way to talk about. I feel like Birds of Prey kind of makes some of those choices too, where there are definitely some moments where I think we all tense up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit.
So I feel like this is the kind of good thing. I want to hear women talk about this, and that was a big part of this
And only
movie.
women.
Only women. If you're a man, shut the fuck up. Shut up. But this was a movie that was written by women. It was produced by women. It was directed by a woman, Kathy Yan. And there are, I think, the scariest moments in this movie. People's faces get peeled off.
I didn't expect that to happen.
That was rough.
Did not like it.
It was
like,
that was actually Griffin's stepdad. Technically, he played his stepdad on The Tick.
oh my God.
It was real rough.
Yeah. I was just like,
Mr. King.
I could do without the face peeling.
Yeah.
But
But like
you
to
didn't see
me,
it
the
happen.
worst, the
Yeah.
worst scenes were when I think was on purpose is when women, because Ewan McGregor is so about control and he's such a control freak that the scariest moment for any of these women is when they have no control over their bodies and you
Yeah.
have no idea what's about to happen.
yeah.
So what did you guys think of like
The scene in the
how
club.
this movie
The scene in the club.
the scene in the club, it's so
Very
funny.
scary.
That was so much worse than like
It was horrible to watch.
I think that was the worst to watch.
Yeah. And it was just like, again, we've seen like so much just very graphic violence and like just the act of like a woman like having to like get up on a table and then
Yeah.
having someone like rip her clothes off was just like, I was like,
That she doesn't even
Very
get to do
uncomfortable.
it.
Yeah,
That he specifically
exactly.
tells a man to do it.
Exactly.
It was really upsetting.
it was really upsetting. I think that was the one scene, and I know why they included it, but it was the one scene I was like,
it felt like
Really
it went on
pushing
a little
it.
too
yeah,
long.
you're pushing it. It's a little bit too long, and I was like, I think they kept it in so that we would remember, like, you hate this guy. Remember,
bad man.
He's a bad man. And I was like, no, I still remember the faces, dude. Like that did not go away. Like I didn't need like another reason necessarily. And like as a woman, watching it, I was just like, I that was the only part that made me uncomfortable. Like that felt like maybe there was like an outside like
Yeah.
push for that scene specifically.
yeah,
It was interesting how differently I felt about that versus like the bloody violence, even the bloody violence implied against women earlier. Because I think
Yeah.
another one gets her face peeled. You know, I assume.
yeah.
that's what
They don't
happened.
show the woman's. They show the guy's
Right.
face getting peeled off. They don't really show the mom, and then
They cut away quickly. Yeah.
But like the thought of that bothered me a lot. But then I think what bothered me more about the club scene was that like this is sort of a familiar like
Yeah.
form of quote unquote violence to me. Like
in the full room of people that aren't can't do anything.
right. And then, you know, I don't think I'm ever going to find myself in the situation where I'm going to get my face peeled off. Although that would be a pretty cool way to go out. Like, you know, if anyone wants to do that, go for it.
Oh my gosh. Were they just ripping off face off? Anyway, sorry. Continue.
That's his like character, right? Victor Zaz.
got
That's his name.
Victor Zaz.
Zaz.
aka the weasel from Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
I mostly know that he like
blonde Christmasina.
he does like little he does
the
tick marks
hash
on his body for every person he kills.
Right. Okay.
I'm not proud of how attracted I was to when he like showed his chest. I'm like, I'm just gonna ignore all this.
Just
that was
bury
great.
that. Bury it.
Oh, I'm supposed to be feeling comfortable around you, but also,
Oh no.
That was awesome.
this is a gift.
Yeah.
The whole like dress tearing scene, I agree, it was like really hard to watch and hard to engage with. I do think you could tell that it was still directed by a woman and it was still had the hands of like women in it, because it never felt like we were supposed to kind of be for, oh my God, I hate this word, but I can't think of another one, but like titillated by it in that sense of like, you know.
She doesn't get her dress taken completely off. You don't see her
exactly.
body.
Like
Which I
it's
think was
about the
deliberate.
fear. It's very much about the fear and the anxiety, and it's not about turning, like it wasn't about turning that woman into like a victim for us to look at, but for us to engage with that fear and anxiety that she was going through. And I kind of appreciated the nuance of that, because we don't really get that side of the story very often, where it's truly about like, no, I want you to understand like what this feels like. I don't want you to feel like a voyeur. I don't want you to feel like you're like witnessing this. It's, you need to understand the fear that so many women go through all the time.
Totally.
Right.
It's focused on her and not on you.
Yeah. I think, and by contrast, after rewatching Suicide Squad, I noticed that. So obviously there's like 20 intros per person for each character in Suicide Squad.
How else would we know what was happening?
How else would we know by making
we know
Amanda
who Katana
Waller?
is?
Katana doesn't really get an intro. He's just like, by the way, it's Katana. She's got a sword, his soul's in it, fucking whatever.
And also, Katana is here.
You know they cut her hair for that movie? David Ayer just like chopped it off because like this
Himself or?
Yeah. Maybe with the sword. I don't know. But in both of Harley's scenes, I noticed that she's strapped down and like right away. In the first one, we see the guard. He's the guy from the Mindy Project, not Chris Messina. I can't think of his name right now, but he straps her down, and there's like some flashback to her kind of like being crazy in this prison, and like they inject her with stuff, and he like takes a selfie and like
I'd forgotten about all that.
Yeah,
That
you
was
blocked
weird.
it out. It's really gross,
That was bad.
and it's just to show like they're like torturing Harley, and then they show her like crumpled up on the floor and like clearly fucking going through something, and then they play like I don't know the Rolling Stones, and they're like moving on. And then in the other flashback scene where they play Super Freak to establish that she's a sexy girlfriend of the Joker. She is a super freak. If you couldn't tell by the song. Oh my God. And they show her Harleen Quinzel origins. And like basically Joker's gang goes to like break him out. And when they do, he straps her down at Arkham Asylum. And like that's when he's like, I'm just going to hurt you real bad. And then, of course, we see Margot Robbie, like, strapped down, arms down, like, again. So, like, again, total loss of control, but it felt very just, like, there's no reason for this. It's just to show, like, titillating it is to see this woman kind of, like, all tied up. And, yeah, I think it was an interesting contrast that, like, women, that didn't really serve the purpose of the story.
Right. It wasn't about women in pain.
Right, for the
This
sake of
movie.
women being in pain.
Yeah.
I think what that scene really did for me, I thought that was a scene where Journey was really great as Black Canary. And to me, the thing I keep thinking about with this movie is that so much of it is about how much men get away with.
Yes.
And because they have the power to, and they just continue to.
Like Renee getting, or not demoted, but like the other guy.
Right, Renee Montoya,
Yeah.
right. And how much, men get away with and they take advantage of these situations, and how much women just put up with it until they say enough is enough, and then they kind of like break free from that. So Harley kind of has to get like pushed out of that with the Joker, but like Canary's very okay with just working in this club, and like she maybe knows that like Roman's a shady dude, but she's not,
She'll keep her head
quitting
down.
it. Yeah, she keeps her head down. She's been through so much with her mom, and I think it's that club scene that like kind of really pushes her over the edge. It's the guy outside the club that, is taking advantage of Harley, which is like another really hard moment to watch.
Yeah, that was hard to watch, but then immediately
Yeah.
gratifying when she like roundhouse kicks him through a car
Yes.
door. I was like, oh my God. Like I have never felt so good in my life. Like it was, and those gold pants. Sorry, I'm getting off track. But that was hard because I was like, oh no, like I feel like
Again, a realistic thing
Very
for like
realistic.
women to see.
Yeah.
And
yeah, stuff. And it's like, oh, you'd hope that there's a black canary in your corner, but
right.
You
But
know.
like, yeah, anytime that happens in the movie, and then even at the end, with Harley, she gets the dart from Victor Zaz, and he just uses it to take advantage, and he's doing some real creepy shit, and she's
Didn't he,
just
like,
bent
lick
over.
her face or something.
He licked her face when she was tied up. So I guess, yeah, she is tied up in this movie, but it doesn't really feel like exploited. She's just like. Anyway.
It was the kind of moment, or all of those moments were the sort of moments where I was like, I had to sort of remind myself, like, I'm glad a woman is directing this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
I'm
knew
glad
you
this
were
was
kind
a
of like
woman's
safe.
choice to show this,
Right.
you know, for whatever reason.
yeah.
Oh,
Or did I just
when
insert
Harley
that?
lose
Oh.
control of all of her limbs?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. The fact that Harley can't control any of her limbs, and then there's like this very creepy dude who wants to like murder a child is just like leaning into her and showing her these scars. And then he immediately gets an arrow to the fucking neck.
We love that.
And then Harley like slowly getting, that might be my favorite Harley moment in the whole movie. It's just when she's like slowly getting her motor skills back, and
She has,
then
like,
just like
an arm and then the
lightly
side of her
stabbing him,
face.
and then she's just like really going for it. It felt very like Tom and Jerry, like
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was great because she's still got to, like, she literally only has like motor controls in like
her forearm.
Her forearm. That is it. Her forearm on her hand. And she still is able to like annihilate this guy, which is just very great. Just very nice. Yeah.
It turned what was uncomfortable into like a comedic moment,
Right.
which was also great.
And what we all want to see, which is a bunch of men get fucking wrecked. This movie.
We want to
like,
see that.
quickly, right?
Yes.
No, but like those men, there was no like lingering, no like, oh, like we need to feel bad for them. It was
Right.
like, no, they're gonna die.
Yeah.
Period.
We're done with them now.
Yeah.
We're done.
Yep.
I mean, do we want to just go straight to like the big like death at the end? Because how satisfying!
So good.
Oh my God.
So good.
I was again overjoyed. It was so great.
Our 13-year-old blew up Ewan McGregor with a fucking hand grenade.
He's dead now.
He's done. It was so
Outstanding.
fast.
In half.
Oh my God. I just love that we started that scene with like, you know, like Harley's got the one bullet in her gun, and like this is like the traditional climax is like she takes her shot and she takes care of him, and then her shot misses, which is, you know, too bad. But then Cassandra, our 13-year-old hero, you know, just gives him a grenade, pushes him off, and he doesn't even hit the water before he explodes.
That's the funniest part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
You think he's going to go under, and then you see it happen.
It was very much like, you know how like in early Star Wars, like when they're blowing up the spaceships, they just like kind of simply disappear. Yeah. Like that was Ewan McGregor. He just like
They vaporize.
He just simply disappeared. I was like,
Yeah, she pulled a hold on maneuver. She split him
did.
in half.
went to light speed.
As we know, a very rare move to make. But you know what?
Oh no, I'm getting PTSD.
Sandra Kane did it.
That's, you know what? That's what we call Asian excellence right there.
Yes,
Exactly.
Yes. Oh, it was so great.
I really liked her in this movie. She was so cute.
She
I
was
know her for
great.
something? I haven't seen her
Ella J.
before.
Basco.
Yeah.
Actually, you would like. Do you know who her uncle is?
No.
Dante Basco. Voice
Dante
of Zuko.
Basco!
No way. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I did not know this. I
Yeah.
guess I just don't know his like face.
Apparently, this is also another family. Yeah, Rufio and everything. This is also, I think their whole family is like all in showbiz as well.
Oh, gotcha.
But she's been like, I guess she's been like working since she was a kid. She's 13 years old. It's very funny. I highly recommend like looking up like press tour videos. She's a total sweetie, and she's very sweet. I think my favorite moment was just like she's badass, and she's like stealing all this shit in the movie. But like at the end, when everyone's kind of like cornering them and they're in the hideout.
I loved when they were like, she's a child who needs to be protected.
Yes.
That was
Yes.
really, really good.
Yeah.
But when she cries, when they
Yes.
see all the guys ganged up outside, because I feel like in most superhero movies, you know, they're so zeroed in on everyone being like, you know, we're gearing up, we're going to get these guys. And they really take a minute to just like, you see Cassandra start to cry because she's just a fucking kid. She's so young, and all she did was just steal some stuff
and ate a diamond.
All she did was eat a diamond. She didn't know this would happen. And like, she's already got her, foster parents are terrible. Like, her life is already like rough enough as it is, and now all the men of Gotham want to kill her, which is scary. I like that they had that moment to just be like, obviously she would be afraid. And I think more than, I don't want to like draw too many parallels to like compare like Marvel and DC, but we're gonna do it. The thing you can kind of most compare to the like, look at all these women. They're on some bad CGI hill in Avengers Endgame, and you're like, all the women are together and they're standing together and they have never interacted up until now, but there's women and there's a lot of them. But in this, I think the perfect alternative wasn't even just all of them kicking ass together. I really like that each person took time to check in with Cassandra.
Yes.
And be like, are you okay? Because the whole point was to get her out safely.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've ever seen that in a superhero movie where there's so much care being put into like,
they're not just like grabbing and like throwing her around.
Right.
It's
She's not a prop.
Yeah.
She's a person who's witnessing a bunch of dudes get their heads bashed in. And like, I think Huntress especially like really drove it home.
Didn't she
like,
say,
you shouldn't see this.
Yeah, I love the like single shot they had in the funhouse at the end. That was just like, it was panning to each of the members of the Birds of Prey, but they were like basically protectively passing Cassandra around and like making sure like hunching over her, like there would be someone coming towards her and then one would immediately like punch someone else out or hit him with a hammer or what have you. Insert violence that we used.
Right.
But I mean, still you could see that there was like kind of this like maternal protectiveness that everyone was using. And I thought that was incredibly powerful to see, because it's like, it's like you don't have to be like the strongest person in the room. Like we are not expecting Cassandra to all of a sudden become like a kung fu master and like also, join the fray. It was like, no, she's a kid.
And it never felt super self-conscious either. Like it never felt like we're doing this because it's a movie about women. They need to be protective.
Totally.
Blah, blah, blah. Like it just felt like, a logical.
Yeah.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
The door
ding
again.
dong.
It's someone, they keep coming in.
Gosh.
All right, let me get the door this time.
Okay.
Hey, ladies.
Oh my God, hi.
You're just so green.
I had to tell you guys about some new science I've heard about.
How do you hear about science these days?
Well, I used to be a scientist. I'm very involved in the science community. You see, my name is Poison. Poison Ivy. As a sexy, sexy lady that is always hanging out with plants, I was talking to this Venus flytrap the other day. They're very talkative. And they told me about this new product. Have you guys heard of it? It's called Hims.
Hims?
Hims. I don't think it'd be for you, but you can tell your friends and you can tell your listeners. Your listeners. You guys host this show, right?
I'm not Griffin.
I'm not David.
Oh, well. Can I at least tell you guys about Hims? Because I find it very fascinating.
Yeah, we're interested to know.
It's all about,
Yeah, you came all this way.
66% of men start to lose their hair by age 35. And once you've noticed thinning hair, it can be too late. So thanks to science, baldness can be optional. With forhims.com, a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, sexual wellness for men, it's time to write a new chapter, and one in which you have hair. Hims is helping guys be the best version of themselves with licensed physicians and FDA-approved products to help treat hair loss. Prescription solutions are backed by science, which is very important, as you guys know about science. Do you like science?
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you should dive into 2020, hair first. Hims was created by a guy who knows some men's health conversations are easier online than in person. No more awkward in-person doctor visits or long pharmacy lines. And For Hims connects you to real doctors, which could save you hours. Completely confidential and discreet. Just answer a few quick questions. A doctor will review, and if they determine it's right for you, can prescribe you medication to treat hair loss that is shipped directly to your door. So let your hair grow, darling. Blank Check listeners can get started with their first month free. Go to forhims.com/check. That's forhims.com/check. Prescription requires an online consultation with a physician who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Offer valid only if prescribed 3-month minimum subscription. Additional restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. And remember, that's forhims.com/check. Did you ladies listen to that?
Forhims.com/slash what?
Check.
Okay.
Check. Like a check, like something you would write me.
Right. Something that could clear or bounce.
Potentially, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think the kind of going along with the Avengers example of like cringe-worthy moments when this has happened, but also in Captain Marvel.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Backstory. Captain Marvel, the comics, meant so much to me. Like
Ashley's the biggest Captain Marvel fan I know.
Remember
she has a
going,
sweater. That's the only reference I'm going to use. She owns a sweater, so technically she's the biggest fan.
No, I remember I was in Boston. I was in college, and I remember I went to the comic store, and I got Captain Marvel #1, like written by Kelly Sue DeConnick, because it had come up, and I was like, this is interesting. And like had been reading it since, like was a total huge fan. And so when they announced the movie, I remember I was so excited. I had like a college like whiteboard that I like drew like a Captain Marvel doodle on, and I was like, it's coming in like 2020, like woo, or whatever. But then I went to see Captain Marvel IMAX, like Thursday night showing, like the whole thing. And I was just so let down by all of it. And especially, I think the nail in the coffin for me was that fight scene towards the end where they just start playing Just a Girl by No Doubt. And I just was like I was like, what? Wait, we get it. She's a girl. Like, there's so many, like.
She was a girl the whole time, and you idiots didn't even know.
Oh, I was like, why do we have to do this? I was like, because I think they were trying to be like, oh, like, this is like a fun 90s song to put along with this. But I was like, like, there's a better one that fits the mood more correctly. And, like, you don't have to hit us over the head with it. And, like, whereas Birds of Prey, like, the music choice was, like, Barracuda. And I was immediately amped.
Also in
like,
Tanya.
Also,
yes. And Charlie's Angels.
Really? Oh, Charlie's
Which felt like Margot Robbie has been talking a lot about how Charlie's Angels was like her big influence. And I think like, I'm not saying Margot Robbie is queer, but as someone who is queer, probably because of Charlie's Angels.
We're just saying stuff.
Yeah. Barracuda scene, pretty great.
Absolutely. So,
I really liked Captain Marvel, and I really, really actually enjoyed that scene. But part of it was that I can remember being 14 years old and listening to that No Doubt album and getting super excited about I'm Just a Girl. So it felt very much where I was like, oh, this has been a really long journey to go from like, you know, Iron Man for waiting like a full decade for this film. I was like, fine, hit me over the head with it. It's fine.
Sure.
This actually, Birds of Prey, to me, what it was almost the wrong it was writing for me was Wonder Woman, because Wonder Woman was like, I cried in the theater when I saw Wonder Woman because I was like, oh my God, I've never seen this like woman on screen. But then on second viewing, you're like, man, it's really just the like one, huh? Just the one, and almost no women of color whatsoever. So what Birds of Prey I thought did really strongly was pull in all of that, where it's real, like it's more women, it's real women, and it centers us in a way where you can tell that women had a hand in the creation of it. Because, which I think neither, like Captain Marvel had significant issues and Wonder Woman had significant issues for both of those pieces, and Birds of Prey actually like sort of didn't, which is such a unique proposition as a viewer.
Yeah, I think I Wonder Woman is my go-to, like, I'm gonna cry movie. Like, I don't cry at films, but like I put it on, and like when she starts like scaling the tower for the first time, I'm like, oops, what are these moisture? I can't do it. But yeah, I my hope is that like one day, like, I mean, I hope that Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel are the movies that walked, so that more like female-centric heroes can like run and like really thrive. And like I hope one day that I'll look back at these films and think that they're quaint. Like, that would be so nice, you know? Like, and just be like, oh, remember when we thought this was groundbreaking? Like, it really wasn't. We could do so much more. Which, again, I think Birds of Prey is totally a right step in that direction. And I think they made a lot of really smart choices in casting and in directing and writing and all that.
Yeah.
What I liked the most, one of the things I liked the most about this movie that I was thinking about in the context of Wonder Woman, which is my one big complaint. Well, I don't know. I have a lot of big complaints about Wonder Woman, but one of the biggest one I think for me is that at the end she has to fight some like big CGI blob of something, which is like the same thing that happens in every single one of these freaking movies.
I think that the big fight is probably the least interesting part.
Yeah, it's just like I look at it and I'm just like, I'm like, I don't need to be looking at the screen right now. I could be doing anything else. And this movie had none of that shit.
No.
And I was very happy about that.
Yeah.
It all looked very real, and I think that was probably a lot of the fight scenes. They got the John Wick guy, Chad Stahelski, to do a lot of the choreography for that, and so like that was very like self-consciously sort of being like, you're going to watch people pull punches at each other and like kick each other and do stuff, and it's going to look like they're actually doing it instead of just like quick cutting around and then making their hands move with like effects.
I think while the movie opens with like a cartoon, it is very fanciful. I think it's the way it's kind of rooted in reality. Kathy Yen, I was just watching an interview where she basically said she tried to kind of hit in between like the Burton and Schumacher and the Nolan, because I think both are pretty beloved. Yeah. But I think it's the people who are rooted and real. Yes. And there's so many people of color that Harley actually interacts with, where, like you said, it's, Wonder Woman. I think there's a woman of color on the island, but, none of them really have lines.
Yeah.
Right.
There's like one who's like a senator who's like, this is a bad idea. And they're like, anyway, moving on.
we have that down.
Yeah, it does feel like that way.
Like, oh, but Chris Pine's so hot, which
that is true.
I mean, no one's arguing that. We agree.
But yeah, I think there's a lot of characters that I would say I think Rosie Perez was like my biggest, like I was really genuinely surprised and happy with like how much she got to do in this movie.
Yeah. She got a lot of screen time.
Mm-hmm. She felt like the real leader of the movie. I anticipated, Harley has that line that I think I really nailed earlier, where
she
just, to speak for yourself,
where she kind of, gets everyone to like agree to like fight these dudes, which also felt like a nice kind of like, I'm stepping up for this girl that I just fucked over. Yeah. But it's Renee Montoya, who is Latina, who is a lesbian, and it's stated very clearly in the movie that is doing all the detective work in this movie, and she's very smart, and she kicks so much ass.
Mm-hmm.
And
there was that great moment where Harley, I think her voiceover, right as Renee was like getting demoted or like getting fired or something, and she's like, cops in movies never get anything done when they're cops. Like they always have to be fired. They always have to turn in their badge before they get anything done.
Before they get anything done. I think there's some complaints about like the Harley voiceover, David Sims. But I think it maybe in some places we didn't need it, but there were other times where I really got a laugh from me there.
Some of the stuff that like if we're talking complaints, the like time jumping bits I thought were like unnecessary.
Okay. It felt weird.
It like confused me to the point of like I had to sort of remind myself.
Kind of like Little Women, which was very confusing.
Little Women,
I didn't understand.
I just can't get through it. No, whatever. I had to remind myself like, oh right, this is happening like a few hours or like a day ago or something. Like okay, I have to like mentally do the math in my head, which I just like I don't really like. I guess I get why they did it in this.
I was okay
they could have not done it.
Necessary.
It felt like a style decision, not a narrative decision.
Yeah.
And so it sacrificed the narrative a little bit to do that. And because I agree, I was like, wait, why are we rewinding now? Like,
right. And they don't really do it.
I don't need this
enough to like justify doing it either. They do it maybe like twice, and then it's over, and then now it's a linear narrative again.
And then it makes it
it was weird.
I think it kind of tied in. I think my favorite part of one of my favorite elements of the movie was the cards that would pop up.
Oh, the text
and it would
on
just
screen.
be like,
Good.
this is their personal grievance.
That was good.
And which all leads up to like Romans and all of his just like just pick one. Then apparently Harley voted for Bernie Sanders.
Apparently.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
I buy it.
We
I also
just stand.
Bernie is in the DCU now.
Oh my gosh.
You should make a cameo in Birds of Prey too.
Yes.
Can you imagine?
Gotham City Sirens.
Oh, here comes Birdie.
He's my Poison Ivy choice, I would say. Fan cast.
Well, she is a health service provider, so she wants single-payer health care.
Yeah.
She wants to save the environment. Listen, I think we're really onto something, guys.
Yeah.
And Bernie's
Guys.
very hot, so
It's the burn of prey.
There we go.
Good job.
Burn of prey.
Oh my God. Well, speaking of Renee, I need that shirt that she wore. That I shaved my balls for this shirt, like yesterday. The moment she came out with it, I was like, I wasn't gonna do it because I was in a theater, but I was like ready to get on Amazon and like find out if I could purchase it, which you can't. They don't have it. They don't have it, and I'm
That's
like,
weird.
this is a mistake. I want this at Hot Topic. Like
It
now.
probably will be.
It will be, right? Like it's got to be. Anyway, that's all I really want.
I wonder if they made it for the movie. It's actually, I was thinking about this in the film. I don't know if you guys saw Happy Death Day to You.
I did.
There's a
I
shirt.
did not see Happy Death Day, but I saw Happy Death Day to you.
You don't need to see the first one to it. I mean, I guess.
I think I pieced it together.
Yeah. But there's a
Should we
t-shirt
recap?
that she wears in the movie. It has WTF written on it. And I guess for the promotional material, they thought that was too rude. And so they like digitally changed it to say OMG in the trailer.
Yeah.
Sure.
No.
And that was something I think about a lot, is the fact that they changed that.
Do you think that's why they fought for the R rating in this movie?
So they could have
They're like,
balls.
this shirt's really fucking funny. We need to put it in
Margot had
here.
the shirt. She was like, I need the R writing because we have to
Yeah.
have the shirt in it.
Yeah. That's a pretty good Australian accent.
Thank you very much.
Again, circling back to Renee and Detective Montoya, like I think we would be remiss to talk about the Birds of Prey without mentioning that like this is not kind of like from like a traditional like comic background. This is not the traditional Birds of Prey like
Yes.
lineup. Like Harley Quinn is not.
You can speak
involved.
maybe more to this because I know this is one
Yeah.
of the like shitty dude bro arguments online.
Yeah.
It's like, why are they calling it? Just call it the Harley Quinn movie.
Yeah.
Don't call it Birds of Prey. Fabulous because long titles that are interesting that you've never seen before.
Yeah.
That's dumb. I don't like it. So Margot Robbie should listen to me.
Yeah, I'll flash my credentials. I one of my like first entry points into comics was Batgirl. I am like Barbara Gordon is like my favorite character. Like I love her so much. Like her whole backstory is like she's like Commissioner Gordon's daughter and she wants to be a part of the police force, but you know, either she's, you know, not qualified enough. A lot of times they say she just doesn't meet the height requirements, that kind of thing. And so she sets off to be a vigilante just because she wants to do police work and she's super smart. She has like a photographic memory. And she, in a very unfortunate comic called The Killing Joke, gets crippled by the Joker. And then she's in a wheelchair for many, many years. And then she starts going by the character named Oracle, again, because she's like super smart, like can, you know, hack into the mainframe or, you know, whatever.
As
kind of
one
stuff.
does.
You know, and
She's
so,
in. She's in.
That's what they say when they
Yeah,
hack into the mainframe,
yeah,
Ashley.
she's-
I'm in.
I'm in.
hack the world.
Hacking expert.
But like, so,
Got you.
From
So-
all the movies I've watched about hacking, that's what they say.
but so she ends up teaming up with Black Canary, and they are like the founding members of the Birds of Prey. And then they did the Birds of Prey comics for a while, and then it wasn't until Gail Simone came on, and she wrote an arc called Of Like Minds. Starts with issue 56.
You
I
better
think.
be right about this because
Oh,
people are going to
yeah.
write about it on the Reddit. Oh my God, Ashley, I really don't
We're
care.
gonna cancel you if you're
they're
wrong.
Cancel. No, I wrote it down. It's the first Simone arc is Of Like Minds, number 56 through 61 in 2004. Because I got my credentials.
Listen, I honestly, we wanted to stress this at the top of the episode. I really do appreciate your comic background as if I'm about to say it does not matter. But I think
doesn't.
you can be a fan without knowing all the details.
Without all of the
so
details.
if you
Shit
don't
about
know
this
what
stuff.
Ashley's
Yeah,
talking about,
well-
that's fine.
Exactly. You don't. What I was mostly getting towards is like
Yes.
when I heard that they were doing a Birds of Prey movie, like I was like so excited because I was like, finally we're gonna get a Batgirl, and then they were like, nope, she's not there, and like, and fuck you, Ashley specifically. And I was like, no, like what do you mean? But it makes sense for what they were trying to do, and I think like again, it's one of those things like you have to get out of your brain of like adaptations do not have to be direct like copy paste,
No.
like you know. it was the exact way in the comics, and so it's going to be the exact way on the film. I think what they did here was way more interesting. They like reinvented what this group means and who it could be and who it could be about and how it's told. And like, the Birds of Prey, the comics, they're fun to read, but they were published in 2004. I think I've gone back to them recently and they show their age. And I think this film was like such a loving, I don't want to say makeover, but refresh. It was
it's
like
a makeover. We're girls.
We're girls. But like, no, it really. I think they did an excellent job capturing like the spirit that they were trying to, without kind of reverting back on like this is like a superhero movie that we've just inserted girls into the main parts. It was really telling like
and if
a
you
woman's
see
story.
the movie, there's also it feels like there's room to work Oracle in.
Mm-hmm.
And if you watch the movie, people are complaining, oh, it's not. Why isn't it about Birds of Prey? The movie is about the origins of the Birds of Prey, and the emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
Birds of Prey origins, if you will.
Yeah,
if you will. Yeah,
and I just so you know, Ashleigh, Christina Hodson, the writer of this movie, is working on Batgirl currently.
I heard that and I was like, it's in good hands. Like I'm okay. And I think ultimately the reason that all happened, I'm sure, was like legal mumbo jumbo, like
sure
business Hollywood, like
So
I'm sure.
The origins of this were really that basically Margot Robbie got pulled in for Suicide Squad, and before they were even finished filming, they went to Comic-Con. And I think the idea was kind of like already in her head that like she was doing all this research and she was reading Birds of Prey. Margot Robbie was reading Birds of Prey and all these Harley comics. And she got to Comic-Con and there's a million Harleys there. And she's like, oh, there's like a real demand for this character. And like a smart businesswoman is like, they're probably going to want they might want a Harley spinoff. And if they do that, I want to be in control.
Yeah.
So she immediately started like having meetings and pitching a Harley movie, pitching an R-rated movie. And she has specifically fought for, she wanted a team movie. So I think that's how it eventually led to Birds of Prey. And she also, I'm very excited about this. She's talked about how she really likes the Gotham City Sirens and she likes her relationship with Poison Ivy.
Oh my God.
So I think they want to explore that. But I think I really respect her decision to be like, she keeps talking about how like Huntress is actually really interesting and we've never seen her depicted on screen. Black Canary, she's been on the CW shows and stuff, but we really haven't seen that,
before
on the big screen. Yeah. And we actually explored some other characters. Renee Montoya, gets like slapped in the face by Harvey Dent in The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
That's it. So it really felt like a really good opportunity to, I think, like explore more of these characters.
She's my hero. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Also, now I just can't stop thinking about a Gotham City Sirens movie because that would rock. Like it would be so great.
Good.
Yeah. Also, in the intro cartoon, Harley's like there's like a slot machine card of like past exes.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah.
Is that supposed to be Poison Ivy?
I don't know.
Some people say it is.
It is like a redheaded woman.
It's a lady.
There is a lady. So like
it's
confirmed
a lady.
bisexual, but like I was like, like this opens the door to another prickly poison friend.
Yeah, I think that would be a fun.
Yeah. Oh, it would be so fun. Who would play Poison Ivy?
I mean, what about, I would love to, I mean, I want like some South Asian rep. So like, like Priyanka Chopra, as much as I have some like issues with her, is easily one of the like sexiest women in the world.
Right. That's the thing. You have to have,
so cool.
I feel like you have to be very hot, but you also have to have like big dick energy.
I feel like Megan
Like Poison
Fox was
Ivy.
being talked about
Yeah.
in this context. I don't think anything is coming of that.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Like I mean, to me, the big thing, it's so funny when you look at fan cast because so many of them are just like dudes being like, Emma Stone, she's got red hair. I'm like, maybe let's think outside of like the hair color they already have because they can change it.
Yep.
Or I don't know if that like it's the same
Or they
like
can get away.
reaction to the Ariel casting. It's like, guys, black women can have red hair. Crazy idea.
What?
I
Mind explodes.
know.
Yeah.
Really wild. I would like a woman of color. I mean, I like that changed Catwoman, who I'm not sure if they'll do that crossover the whole DC.
I have no idea how
It's very confusing.
Yeah.
But if anyone could cross over into this Birds of Prey movie, it would be Robert Pattinson. Like, of all of the Batmen, our Bats is the one.
Oh my God. He's
gonna
the one
be-
who's going to be in The Batman, right? Is
He's
that
the Batman, yes, indeed.
The
Batman.
Batman.
It's
That
gonna
cast
be-
is pretty great.
What was his quote? It's, quote, so raw and like something
Yes.
else.
Like, what is
I
it,
love that.
Sushi? It was like unsanitized and
Yes.
raw.
Sounds gross. I'm so
Just like
It's disgusting.
can't wait.
I am, but Zoe Kravitz though is playing Catwoman, and she's
has
got
the
this
hair.
like cute little pixie cut, and it feels like they're going back to this like 60s, style. So I would like to see her. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I wonder. Eva Mendes like hasn't been in anything, and I feel like maybe
Yeah.
Poison Ivy.
Yeah. I feel like maybe it would be a nice opportunity for like an unknown to like break through too. Like,
Yeah, agreed.
Yes,
because nothing's coming to mind immediately, which means that like there's probably someone out there who's like perfect for this role.
Could be
Like,
anyone.
Yeah, it could be anyone.
Oh my God. I just thought of Janelle Monáe as Poison Ivy.
yeah.
Oh my
Oh
God.
boy.
Thinking of her in that midsummer.
Has Janelle like
cape.
done? Yeah, it's like Janelle done anything that's like specifically like a big lead role? I feel like she's been the person who has like cool lines in a trailer. Like,
Yeah.
what's the doll movie? What?
Is she the lead in this, like, in the antebellum horror?
Yes, that's sort of her
coming
big
out? Right?
thing, right? Because she's sort
I
of.
think so.
She would be a great Poison Ivy. Because, like, I feel like so much of it, you're just going to be able to, if you can, like, stand and put your arms out and it looks like plants would come shooting out.
She would
That's
do
what-
like
that would
a
happen.
green tuxedo. Like that would be what her look would be.
Yeah.
Into it.
Think about it.
I like
Very into it.
That might be my favorite.
Warner Brothers, call me.
got some thoughts. Yeah.
Ding dong.
Oh my God. He just slammed the open door open again.
Hello. I just walked right in. The door was open.
You're not Catwoman.
No.
You're not a woman.
A Batman.
You sound just like I imagined you
Thank
would.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rachel's right over there if you're looking for her.
Hi, Rachel. Rachel! So good to see you again. Oh, what's up, Batman? I love that name. Rachel, I came to tell you one last time about Brooklyn and sheets. Lately, when I'm on the rooftops of Gotham talking to Jim Gordon, I like to disappear behind the sheets. And sometimes my face touches those sheets.
The sheets that they have strung up to dry.
Yeah. I've just been noticing that the sheets that I like the most, that I thought they're absolute softest, are Brooklyn sheets.
Oh.
Brooklinen is an interesting company. They work directly with manufacturers and directly with customers, which I think is a good business plan. Not that I'm a businessman. I'm Batman. I'm
You wouldn't
Batman.
know anything about business.
No, but they don't work with middlemen. I don't like middlemen. They're like thugs. I beat up thugs.
You take charge yourself.
But it's just a really great product and service. And I really like their sheets. They're so soft. Ashleigh, is that your name? I know everything.
Wow, that is my name.
Have you ever tried these Brooklyn sheets? I mean, from my experience on the rooftops of Gotham, I think they're pretty great.
Yeah, I actually genuinely have Brooklyn sheets in my home, and I think they are wonderful. They're very cool and soft and easy to wash.
Are they the nicest sheets you've ever had? Because I know this guy, Bruce Wayne, he's really cool, and he could afford anything he wants, and he gets Brooklyn sheets.
Yeah,
Bruce Wayne
It's like-
sleeps on Brooklyn, confirmed.
Confirmed.
What a
You heard it
scoop.
here first. I just heard it was in the newspaper.
Right.
Right.
well, it's great because it's all the luxury product without the luxury markup. It's very fitting for Bruce. I didn't know he was so frugal.
I mean, he's just smart. He's very smart. He runs good business.
Yeah, of
He's
course.
a very handsome man.
Well, you know, Brooklyn does more than just sheets.
Do they?
They have other bed and bath essentials like towels and shower curtains and bath mats. And they just launched ultra soft loungewear. So it makes you feel like you never left bed.
That's great. I leave my bed all the time. I'm almost never asleep.
Batman, you should have Brooklyn loungewear outfits so that you're
They
more
probably
comfortable on the
fit
job.
under all the padding, to just so no chafing.
That would be pretty nice because I get pretty beat up a lot. And it would just be nice to have something soft on my body sometimes and not scratches from bad guys.
Yeah.
We all deserve that.
Yeah. We all deserve a little pampering.
Bruce Wayne was telling me that Brooklinen.com is the perfect place to hit refresh on the new year. And you should go out and make yourself comfortable, Rachel. Brooklinen is so confident in their product that all their sheets, comforters, loungewear and towels come with a lifetime warranty. Rachel, it's very good for you to have a lifetime warranty, which is why it's very important for you to pamper yourself with Brooklinen sheets, because you never know how long you're going to be able to appreciate the good things in life, like Brooklinen. So, as my good friend Bruce Wayne was telling me, get 10% off your first order and free shipping on the all-new sheet from Brooklinen when you use promo code CHECK, only at brooklinen.com. That's BROOKLINEN.com. That's CHECK. My friend Bruce Wayne writes a lot of checks. And hey, New Yorkers, if you're listening at night, when it's dark out, you can get the internet's favorite sheets and more in real life. Visit Brooklinen's first store in Brooklyn. Brooklinen in Brooklyn. It makes sense. At 127 Kent Ave in Williamsburg. Brooklinen is everything you need to live your most comfortable life.
Are we going to talk about the plot of this movie?
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
might be a
you
good
wanna do
idea.
that? Should we? Yeah.
Just in case.
It's blank check. Listen. It's kind of fine.
I'm surprised when blank check goes into the plot of a movie.
Honestly, it is pretty
I just figured I should
shocking.
say something. We're at what?
Personally, my favorite
An
tweets
hour
are
and a
when
half?
everyone sends us tweets being like, they didn't even talk about the movie
Yeah.
for an hour in. We've been talking about the movie. We're just
We should
telling
talk
you
more
the
about The
movies.
Bachelor. Guys, what do you think is going to happen?
Who do you think he's going to pick?
Wait, Ashley, I want to hear your thoughts about the Lego Batman movie.
Oh, very positive thoughts. I think my biggest takeaway from the Lego Batman movie, it is the best depiction. I was like, what are words? So Lego Batman movie has the best depiction of Batgirl specifically, as mentioned before. She's my girl.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, they
And-
have done Batgirl on screen.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
Played by Rosario Dawson. They do this like video montage about like, welcome your new commissioner, Barbara Gordon. And they say, she was top of her class at Harvard for police, cleaned up the streets of Bloodhaven using statistics and compassion. It's just like, but like that's Barbara. So I was like, oh, it's so good. And like they do such a great job of like getting back to like kind of like the cartoony, like fun roots of Batman and like the whole DC universe as well. Cartoons, man. Like,
love 'em.
yeah, exactly. And I think DC has been like, if you're comparing like DC to Marvel, DC has always been rooted in kind of a more cartoony madcap universe. Then Marvel has always been like, no, we're trying to make this relevant to like the real world. It's set in New York City. Like, you know, we're trying to make this like as applicable as possible. Where DC can just have like a little bit more fun. And yeah, I thought the Lego Batman movie did a great job of that. And also Will Arnett as Batman is also great. And like
great.
Michael Cera's there as Robin. Lego Batman.
Real quick aside for cartoons, I actually also want to shout out the Harley Quinn show. If you guys get like a DC Universe free pass.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was doing my research, diligent research on top of Suicide Squad.
Very diligent.
It's very fun. Apparently also Writer's Room, some of them blankies. Listen to the
I
show.
thought you were going to say some of them women.
Maybe.
women and
blankies.
It certainly feels like it. Yeah.
More importantly than being women, they listen to this show.
A blankie first and a woman second.
But yeah, back to the plot of Birds of Prey, which we have not covered over an hour in. It's a good plot. Solid. I don't know. Emma,
Really?
you're a movie critic.
I
Go nuts.
sure am. Okay. As my job description as being a movie critic, I will go over the plot of this film. So it's about Harley Quinn.
Sure is.
It's thing number one to know about this film. And so it starts like as she broke up with the Joker.
She gets kicked out of
She
like
gets
a bar.
kicked out. He breaks up with her. She's not having a great time of being rejected, and she hasn't told anyone that they're not together anymore.
With good reason, though.
With good reason,
Yeah.
because he's pretty much the only thing keeping people from messing with her, and she's like riding high on all this freedom that she has because of that, but she doesn't realize that it's not because she's who she is, it's because he's who he is.
Right.
And so once the connection between them, it becomes apparent that that's not there anymore. After she blows up an Ace chemical plant, a very fun scene.
Well, some people have the Eiffel Tower, some people have the Olive Garden. Other people have an Ace Chemical
Had
Power
a
Plant.
vat of acid.
Great line.
And people start coming after her, including the guy, including Ewan McGregor's character's name?
Roman Sionis.
Roman Sionis.
Victor Zsasz is so much more fun to say.
Very cool name.
Victor Zsasz. Like Roman Sionis is like not.
It just sounds like a name of a person.
Yeah. It just sounds like a very generic, like mob boss, whatever. Yeah.
Black mask.
Black mask.
He does indeed wear the black mask later on.
Yeah, and the whole thing of like her kind of being under quote unquote the protection of Joker.
Right.
I thought it was really interesting because even if your boyfriend is not the clown prince of crime.
You've heard me talk about my exes.
Clowns. Ladies. No, I think but it's like a real thing that I feel like happens to women where if you have a boyfriend,
you're sort of
don't
in the
bother
crowd.
you as much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, like if you're not going to get catcalled if there's a dude walking next to you on the same street where you might be walking by yourself. So you totally understand Harley kind of like, obviously it's hard for her to just admit it to herself, but then also she knows like the very real implications. And it's also just like, it's an interesting detail for Roman that he, you know, respects Joker and fears him, but you know,
doesn't like
Harley's pretty kooky and crazy, and he just finds her annoying.
She
and
keeps
he
breaking
only
people's legs in his bar.
Pretty great, but she only, you know what I mean? Like she's acting out, but he won't do anything because of the Joker, because he respects this guy. But as soon as he's gone, he was like, "Oh, I don't care anymore."
Right.
Shitty dude.
How many of us have ever done the thing where like you're in a bar with your friends and some guy starts talking to you and you like grab one of your guy friends and you're like, this is my boyfriend?
100%.
Because I've done that before.
100% have done that. You got it.
I thought you were gonna say where you jump on their legs and
Who have done that?
Million%.
Oh my gosh.
I found it's a very effective move.
Just girly
talking to
things.
you and you break his legs. I wish. We love catharsis.
Only do it if you have a PhD.
Right. I love that she keeps mentioning that.
Yes.
She's like, I went to school.
Yeah.
I was a psychiatrist.
She has a very quiet kind of line in Suicide Squad where she does some like psych language towards Will Smith, who's misses his daughter. I don't know.
Really convincing.
I can't
Go
talk
on.
about that movie without like sighing and like melting into the floor. But yeah, throughout this movie, she's saying like, "Oh, classic childhood trauma," or like, "I can tell
have
you're
a degree."
lying to me based off of like your facial reactions and things like that." Just
Fun
like
stuff.
makes it very clear. Like Harleen Quinzel like went to school. God damn it, she still knows her shit.
Yeah.
She has a business card. The business card was so fun.
The business card was good. She can't spell mercenary.
Marissa.
To be fair, she had a lot of shots before she could spell
yeah.
mercenary.
What else happens in this movie? How many other characters come into it? Because this is the part that I was confused by, and it keeps going back and forth. I'm like, I don't know who any of these
The
people
big
are.
thing is that, you know, it's like hunting season on Harley once everyone knows that her and the Joker broke
It's Wabbit
up.
season.
Yeah.
It's Wabbit season.
You could say.
Wow.
Well, it's Wabbit season for her.
And she
it
can't
is
pull back
also-
a sign that says duck season. She can't trick everybody.
She can't.
I do feel that Roman would fall for it because he's a big old dummy in this movie.
Oh my gosh. He's
boy.
such a petulant child. He's just like, my things. You're taking
He
my
literally
things.
yells my
Like,
things.
yeah.
Throws them.
Oh,
throws
it's so
his
great.
shit on
I
the
have to
floor.
respect his suits, though.
Oh, yeah.
I love.
I was gonna say I do want to talk about how
They
great
were
the
so
suits
good,
were.
right?
They're so good, and the part in the club where he has eyeliner on, I would just like to say thank you.
Yes.
Just
Thank you
thank
for putting
you.
Ewan McGregor in makeup. Kathy Yan knows what we want.
I did
Yes.
tense up in my seat when that happened. I was like,
Oh, it's happening.
Yeah.
He borrowed some from Chris Messina.
right. Oh my
He's got a lot of eyeliner.
Can I step back for a second and say the one thing that I really struggled with in this movie is that Roman is quoted as queer. And
Yes. We should talk about
him being like the villain in that, like, I'm here for queer villains, but it made it very much like, this is women versus queer men, and I'm not here for that.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
didn't
there's-
Kathy Yan say in an interview before it came out, she
Yeah.
was like, yes, Roman and Victor are together.
Oh, I
She-
saw an
yeah.
interview where she said she didn't plan it that way.
Okay.
To me, it felt more coded. Never feels implicit. Chris
It
Messina
felt pretty
is
implicit
especially,
to me.
he's like a little puppy following Ewan McGregor around.
The way that they make eye contact.
Yes.
Oh my, he's
Something's
so
there.
pouty when he's talking to Black Canary.
Yeah.
It felt a little explicit, but it also because they had queer rep on both sides,
Right.
it didn't feel as, and the queerness wasn't it never felt like the queerness was the reason for the villainy. Like, right? Like, it didn't feel like it was like that level of it.
It's complicated.
I don't know.
It was
It's uncomfortable, but
I
do
do
wish
there's
now
such
that-
a history
Exactly.
of it. It's just so
Right.
many villains are coded as queer.
Just forever.
And just
forever,
very
forever.
kind of like over the top, and it's never made. I think it would have been cool to kind of just make that like a little more explicit, like just go that extra
Right, just say it.
because it did work for their characters. Like I wouldn't have wanted to see them as like, you know what I mean? Like their lingering moments together are really like charged and fun,
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So like blowing off some steam. I'm gonna go kill Harley, or whatever
Yeah.
the line was. Yeah.
It's good to mention that it's not necessarily women versus straight men,
yeah.
which would probably be a little bit more cathartic.
Yeah, it would have been more cathartic, but also maybe more like ham-fisted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although he does have that moment of like, men of Gotham.
Yeah, oh my
Like,
God.
so showboaty.
It is very testosterone driven.
Yep.
That scene specifically reminded me of when Chris Gethard is in Parks and Rec. And he's like standing with like the men's rights activists.
Yes.
That's what that moment was. It felt like he watched that clip.
Oh boy.
Cinematic parallels.
Birds of Prey is basically men's rights are nothing.
Exactly. I thought, but like, I think Ewan McGregor played it like really well.
Oh, he was having so much fun.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I had recently revisited Moulin Rouge, and so
Ooh.
part of the time I was just like
Big Ewan movie.
big Ewan movie. But then when this movie started, I was just like, Christian, like, what are you doing?
He does get
supposed
to
to be a
dance
good
and
guy.
sing to Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend in
I
both
know.
films.
Oh,
so-
yeah.
He
That
didn't
is
get to
true.
sing it.
Oh.
I really would I wanted him to jump in. Did we like that number? Preeti, what did you think of that?
Oh yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was interesting and fun, and I love that she's wearing pants in it. I thought that
pants
was
are
great.
I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really, really enjoyed that whole thing. It was such like a weird manic moment, but in a way that worked. Unlike the like kind of weird rewinding narrative structure that didn't necessarily work. That moment for me really, really like worked for Harley as a character.
I have to say, for me, I have to disagree a little bit because I was like very sorry. I'm so sorry. I respect you though. Women stick together. But I was like, I remember seeing that like little bits of that in the trailers and being very excited for whatever that was going to be. I assumed that it would be
It's very
her
short.
singing Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. And
Yeah.
it seemed really weirdly like chopped and screwed in the actual movie that like I wondered if it hadn't been a full scene and they decided to just sort of cut around it.
Yeah.
Because
felt-
I would
yeah.
have liked a full genuine musical number there. I feel like that would have
Yeah.
been really cool. But they
More
just
of
didn't
it.
do it. Yeah, I want more.
Yeah. I wish
that's
it was
fair.
in Harley's voice, honestly, because it's like
Yeah.
someone else's.
Yeah, that's definitely not. Can
Version.
Margot sing? Do we know if she
Probably. I don't know.
sure
She
she's
can do
so
everything.
good.
She can do whatever she wants.
Yeah. Is that the only fantasy sequence? I don't think there's any other
Yeah, there was
Besides the whole movie.
whatever fantasy. But compared to Suicide Squad fantasy, where she like has 2 small children and is married to Jared Leto,
Yeah. No, they
it
have
felt like a
the
nice change.
worst.
Yeah.
Goals.
Well, because this was what I liked about it, I think, is because this was such a direct result of him, hitting her in the face in a very jarring moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Ewan McGregor does play the character kind of like, you're laughing at him a lot. Like, he is very impetuous and very childish, so that when they are these, like, and, like, the first time you see him be truly violent, it's him directing Victor Zsasz to do the work, right? So the first moment where he, like, really, like, backhands her was a really jarring, uncomfortable moment.
Right.
And so I liked it going into this kind of jarring, uncomfortable musical scene where it felt very right because of what preceded it directly. But it was like really like that moment of him like backhanding her was like, ugh. It was hard. It was hard to see in the same way that the dress scene was hard to see. It was like a little hard to watch.
Right. You don't want to watch Obi-Wan do that.
No.
He did have the high ground, though. So
Oh my God.
I'll leave. Bye. This has been so much fun, you guys. Sorry.
But no, yeah, it is. I think it made sense for Harley's character in that she kind of like stepped out of a little bit. It did feel jarring, but then I guess it made sense for the scene.
I think it was just like an editing issue for me. It was
Yeah.
just the way they spliced it in was a little
It seemed
choppy.
like there had been a reason for it, and then they had to take out the reason or something. I don't know what happened with it, but it seemed like
the reason was to have Megan Thee Stallion and Normani's song in the credits. Great credits.
soundtrack for this movie. Very good. I know.
Outstanding.
Slaps.
Very fun.
Honks.
What honks?
Honks is the thing that Griffin's trying to start. Like, by law, I have
I feel
to
like
use
David
it.
has it a lot too.
Because this is what happens between those two. Like Victor Zsasz and Roman Sionis, they just feed into each other.
Which one of them is which?
I mean, I
Who's
feel
Roman?
like
Who's
David's
Victor?
got to be Roman, right?
I'm just gonna love this.
He's not going to listen to this.
Psychopath. Do you think those two are? I mean, I feel bad not saying that Ben is Victor Zsasz. He's got some serious scumbum energy. There's a lot of scumbums in this movie.
Ben also cuts little tally marks into his skin.
Fun fact.
For every pair of pants he buries.
Yeah. Ben's like a ginger. It would not look. That
Oh
would
my
be
God.
so bad for his skin. In this, but yeah, I liked Black Mask. I like
how he puts on the mask.
You could tell he did too.
Very
He was
dramatic.
like, is that what he says to Zaz? Where like they kind of like get excited for a minute. I feel like I missed that line where he's just like, I'm gonna put this on tonight because he's really not wearing it for most of the movie.
No.
He's very showboaty. He's very like in this version, I don't know if this is him in the comics, but he's kind of just like a trust fund kid. He's like an interesting parallel to Bruce Wayne, where, trust
He has
fund
a lot
kid
of privilege.
has a lot
and
of
yet
privilege.
he still feels like he has something to prove
Right.
all the time.
And he has to control things, and he gets upset when things don't go his way. So he decides to become a villain who owns
relatable.
the east side of Gotham.
Yeah. Who among us?
I mean, I would also want to wear all those fun outfits if I were.
I would love
That's
to
the best part
own-
about being a Gotham villain, right? It's just that you get to dress real
You
crazy.
get to wear
Yeah.
cool stuff. Yeah.
dude.
I would love to own a seedy nightclub with hand decorations all over the
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
It looked like the Pan's Labyrinth, hand
Yeah.
things
Yeah,
Oh.
so I
on the
guess that
back.
was
Yeah.
they were originally going to have statues on stage because he's so obsessed with these perfect forms everywhere.
Sure.
And then they thought it looked too weird, so instead they just have one big statue that kind of overwhelms the stage.
That's cool.
And then obviously, did you guys catch there was a line where he's showing Black Canary his apartment and
Yes.
Zaz is super jealous and he says something about he points to a statue that is a very tall Ewan McGregor that I know we all want in our homes.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure will be sold at Hot Topic very shortly.
When they auction that one off at the prop auction, I will be there.
It will be there as well. But he says someone made it and then they cut him off. Does anyone
don't-
think that's supposed to be a nod?
I don't remember
I
what
don't
the name
notice
was.
this. I did not.
I was
be.
not 100% sober when I saw this movie.
I like that honesty.
Sorry, DC fans, if we're not getting something.
I thought
whatever.
I was
Tweet at us.
is there supposed to be I felt like there was supposed to be a hero or villain we've never heard of that's the sculptor.
Right,
And
yeah.
it's a nod.
He makes
Yeah.
statues.
Hot Pete.
Yeah. With DC's, villain background, there probably is someone named the
They
sculptor.
have Calendar
They
Man.
have Calendar
why
Man.
not?
They have the kite.
Danny the Street.
They did a really good job with Calendar Man on the Long Halloween. Gave him a purpose.
Yes.
But Batman villains, that's why they're all my favorite.
Yeah.
But then it ends with the statue, so it seems to be kind of I really like the Founders Park. It's just another reminder of all these
Yeah.
men who have gotten credit for I don't fucking know, just being
Founding.
rich and founding Gotham.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a very good idea to put that many statues on a pier.
No,
I mean, it was
think of the wind.
It was falling apart a bit. I feel like that might have had to do with the 30 statues that were lined up on a wooden pier.
Some of them look kind of crumbly.
They looked pretty crumbly. One gunshot destroyed the whole head.
They're probably hollow on the inside. Shoddy workmanship.
Like real men.
Whoa.
No.
If I could drop this mic, I would. Except I wouldn't. That's actually really bad for audio equipment. You shouldn't do it.
Please don't.
I know.
It's very expensive.
I know things. I don't bat them. Like James, oh my God. There's too many James who host late night shows. James Corden at the Oscars.
James Corden.
They were like messing with the microphone because they were cats. And all I could think was like the audio people are pissed right now.
So
I wonder
mad.
if that was a prop microphone. It seemed like it was bouncing back unusually well.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, if they rehearsed that. Do you think they rehearsed in the cat makeup too?
I bet they spent weeks on that bit.
Oh my God.
Probably longer than they did on cats.
I will never watch Cats.
Honestly,
No, don't look at me like that, Angela.
Hi,
I will
cinema.
never do it.
Jellicle
I will
sauce.
not. No.
people are
I watch
still
it.
mad at us for not covering that. Guys, please stop telling us to cover cats.
I'm sorry I brought up a sore subject, but
No, we might be covering it in like a March Madness bracket, but like don't leave.
Tom Hooper's going to
Don't
win.
encourage people to vote for that.
It would be fun to talk about, but also please stop tweeting at us to cover cats.
Skimble Shanks.
Skimbleshanks is the railway
railway cat. He's the cat on the rail. Anyway,
I think what other parts of Birds of Prey
what
did
stuff?
we like, guys?
I like, speaking of statues and stuff, I liked in the funhouse when they're on that spinny table when she's rollerblading
carousel.
around. Thank you, the word that I was looking for. I liked how the hands, you could bend them back and smack people with them. Very cool.
it's just shenanigans, man.
It's just all good fun.
It was so great. I think we have to, I don't think this episode is complete if we don't give a shout out to the egg and cheese sandwich. That was actually,
Hell yes.
yeah, that was like Harley's
Legitimately
like
the best part.
so good. And like, I'm really sad because I wanted to bring egg and cheese sandwiches for everyone to this recording. And it happened to be after the breakfast hour, so I couldn't get any, and I was really furious. But we probably shouldn't be eating on mic anyway.
It'll bring it
Griffin
back to
does
the
it all.
Oh,
I also would
okay.
have been really sad if you guys were eating egg and cheese sandwiches.
That's true. That's true.
It's hard enough to watch the movie, and they have like this like
I was
perfectly
so
made
good.
sandwich.
I was so hungry. I was like, I want an egg and cheese and a margarita stab. Put it in my mouth. But yeah, it's like, I think it's interesting that like she breaks up with the Joker. And like, it's not even like her breaking up. It's definitely like implied that he did that. But the thing that actually like led her to have, a breakthrough moment. She cries, and it's like, it's because this egg and cheese sandwich got fridged. like totally like we had to have this egg and cheese sandwich die for her to see the error of her ways and like grow past that. And like, it was so great. And I love that she finally got it in the end.
Yeah, that was
I
good.
mean, who amongst us hasn't had that experience with a bodega breakfast sandwich?
So good.
Like, there's nothing worse in the world than you think you're going to get this amazing thing, this amazing sandwich, and then something goes wrong.
Absolutely.
It's really
That was like representation matters.
It does.
of egg sandwiches.
Yes.
Specifically, apparently, like a lot of care went into crafting like the exact type of like
Oh, that's funny.
egg sandwich that they make in New York. Like because like
That's
they were like they
good.
would bring them and they were like, no, that looks too nice. It has to look floppy. It has to have Armenian hair in it. It has to be legit.
No disrespect to the egg sandwiches of New York.
It was good. It looked like a good New York egg sandwich.
It did. It had like the right like foil wrapping and stuff.
Yeah.
And then
just
the
like
foil and then the paper underneath.
And then the
you
paper.
fold back.
Mm-hmm.
I love the montage when they're cooking it on the
Yes.
stovetop.
Yeah.
And the
With
egg
Barry
is like
White appropriately
wiggly.
playing. 'Cause
Oh,
that's
yes.
what I hear in my head.
Every
I make a
time.
sandwich.
Every time. Yeah.
I'm
No, yeah,
hungry,
I've
guys.
fixed many a hangover with an egg and cheese from my bodega down the street.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that's why it would be hard for me to like live. Every time I've been to LA, I'm like, you can't just like walk around a corner and get an egg and cheese sandwich.
You gotta go to Squirrel.
Gotta drive around the corner.
No.
Let me just alienate all our listeners in that whole thing.
Yeah, bye, guys. Sorry, LA.
Sorry, LA. But you gotta try this egg and cheese. You'll change your mind.
We don't like men or people from LA.
It is funny though that like every time like occasionally listeners will like post in our Reddit like I'm going to New York, like what like movie stuff should I do? And like responses are always like get an egg and cheese sandwich.
Do it.
It is like kind of like the quintessential thing to do. And Gotham is kind of like the, it's supposed to be
New
like
York.
New York
Yeah.
combo.
sometimes Chicago.
It's sometimes Chicago. Christopher Nolan's version, I guess, when it has like nerve gas and shit.
trucks flopping over.
All those trucks, you know?
I really
truck
liked
movies.
this Gotham, though. Did we feel like this felt like Gotham watching
did.
it? Did it feel like
honestly,
a regular city?
Back to your earlier point about how this feels like a Schumacher film.
Yes.
Those are the only films in which I believe that like Gotham is this gross place of corruption and just like everything is dirty and
Well, yeah, because there's a
terrible.
bunch of gangs that paint neon on their faces. So now that's how you know they're bad.
Yeah.
It's kind of radical. Anyway.
Because, like, I remember I watched, like, I love the Nolan Batman trilogy. I think they're great, but they're always like, this city is dirty and gross. I'm like, this city, it looks fine. Like,
Yeah,
It looks like a normal city.
yeah, like, it's just sort of boring, but I don't
gotta
think it's
save you.
gross.
Yeah.
But this movie in particular, it looked, like, sticky. Like, I felt like if I touched the movie, my hand would come away with something on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, Harley's apartment was, like, appropriately small. She did get a studio, which, like, felt pretty
Yeah.
Unrealistic.
I wonder how much do we think Harley's paying rent on that place?
Well, she made a deal with that very nice man.
I guess so.
Grievances.
Can I say,
None.
that was great. That was also another one of my favorite, like a theme that I thought was pretty strong. That was, I think, kind of like subtly layered throughout is that like Harley is so, she really struggles to connect with people.
Yeah.
And it felt like, I mean, the first thing you see is like her dad kind of like didn't want her. And they kind of like brush it off as a joke, but she's
horrible.
But she's an unreliable narrator. And she's like, yeah, my dad didn't want me, but I kept showing up anyway. I ended up in like this orphanage with like these nuns. And then like she has that line with Doc that says he's like the father I never had.
Yeah.
And she kind of like says it like a throwaway, but like she's so genuinely hurt when he sells her out. And I think like it really hurts when she sells out Cassandra Cain like right after that.
Yeah.
But it made sense for her to just like you can tell it's so hard for her to like she can't really like rely on anyone and like
Well, it's
every
sad
time she
because she,
tries
like-
to make connections she's really bad at it.
Yeah. And it sucks because like she immediately kind of gets it too when he does that. She's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I guess I would have done the same thing. And then of course she does.
Right.
That's just sort of like the world until now she's lived in. And then she gets the girl gang and everything goes great for her.
Yeah.
And then she turns on them, which again felt
True
good.
character.
So good.
Ange, do you want a try at the box office game?
Fuck no.
It's from this week.
I can't. I'm not like a box office aficionado. What movies are coming out?
What movies are already out?
Are already out.
I don't
I mean,
know.
I guess we can talk about the box office with this movie. It's
not
not
doing
doing as well as
you
we
know
would like.
Do you know if David does the worldwide or the domestic?
Well, this is the
gonna
new
go for the
box office
worldwide.
I
mojo.
literally listen to the show for my job, and I
I like sit next to David and I have no idea what he's doing over there.
listen. I'm not a numbers girl. I just talk a
So,
lot.
Birds of Prey is number 3.
Okay.
Number 1 is a sequel to a sequel with Will Smith in it.
Oh,
Oh,
Bad Boys for Life.
Yeah,
makes
Bad
sense.
Boys for Life. Number 2 is a movie I didn't know came out, but everyone has been really mad about it. It's got Robert Downey Jr.
Doolittle.
That's
saw
number
it.
2.
It's number 2.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, isn't that par for the course though? Like a children's movie, because
Yeah.
parents and children's. Like this is a rated R superhero
Right.
movie. Like that limits the audience.
Right. Is this international?
Unless
did
you bring
say?
your
This is
10-year-old,
worldwide.
I guess.
Yeah. I think like international like CGI. He does stick his hand up a dragon's asshole in that movie.
Sure does.
Wait, you saw
Didn't know
that movie?
that.
Spoilers.
I didn't see it, David. I just like saw David immediately after he saw it, and he was like still reeling from
Ashen.
it. And then Ben was like, and he asked, he was like, the dragon farts a lot. That this is like the main compelling point of
This
the
is
movie.
the climax of the film.
The climax of the film is the dragon is farting, and then Ben asked, does the dragon at least fart fire? And then David yelled, no! Really upset.
Perfect opportunity missed.
Yeah.
That's too
I'm
bad.
bummed that I know that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Anyone listening, you are now
you have to live your lives knowing
with this
this.
information.
Yeah. I have hopes that I think this has had like a slower opening than maybe the studio was expecting. But I have hopes that like, because I feel like I was also in this boat. I was going to wait to see what people said about this one because it was so closely, tied to like Suicide Squad. And like, I was like, I don't know, are we going to do like another like Harley as a fuck
A
toy
movie where the trailer was great.
Yeah,
and the movie
exactly.
Was a
And I was
hot
just like,
mess.
I don't know. I was like, I want to make sure this is something that like I would actually enjoy, like as like as a woman viewer, like knowing that there isn't like excessive like, you know, violence against women or anything
just
like
normal
that.
excessive
Just
violence.
normal excessive violence, exactly. And you know, I think if I had waited, I would totally go and see it now, but I had to because I was going to be on a podcast. But I think there's a lot of people that are like, oh, like the reviews are in. They've heard that this is a movie that's like safe for me to see, or I would feel good about
Safe for
seeing it.
10-year-olds to see as well.
Well,
Take
maybe
your 10-year-olds.
I don't know. 10-year-olds.
They love
She got
face
there for the
peeling.
tater tots, honestly.
But yeah, I have hopes that this is going to be like, you know, I don't think it's going to break any like records set by your Wonder Womans and your Captain Marvels of the world, which is a ridiculous standard to put a movie to anyway.
Right. That it can't just exist. It has to
yeah.
prove itself every time any movie.
Every single time.
Created by women or featuring all these women. Just like it has to be great.
Yeah.
Just the thing about that is that movies about women are bad, you know? And like
As we all know.
we shouldn't be
Well,
making
Harley-
them.
Women.
Harley
Do women
wasn't
exist?
sexy enough. She
Yeah.
didn't
Oh
have
my
the
God.
sequin booty shorts. So
I
I
mean,
mean, number
that's-
one, that's where the
That's why
studios
it's
went
gonna
wrong.
fail.
That's why it was destined to fail. I can't even say that. Like it's so frustrating.
frustrating.
Can we all agree? We need to talk about this before we wrap up the episode. Did we all fucking love the costumes?
Yeah, they're
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Very much
Again,
amazing.
Again, I shaved my balls for this. and like fucking Black Canary's like yellow pants, like
Yes.
doing some stuff to me. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I need
The
them,
gold
but I-
pants, the
Double
hair.
bralette
hair.
with like the beautiful.
Oh my
Yeah.
The
God.
suit that she wears with the bell-bottom
Yeah.
jeans.
Oh my God.
I think
Huntress's
like
Gold
whole thing.
overalls. So
Yes.
badly.
I also like the nod to like I knew Harley was going to be on roller skates for that fight scene, and
yeah.
she's in boots for the beginning of it. So I would the whole time I was kind of like,
When
when
is
do
she
the
gonna
skates
put
come
on-
out? And as someone who did roller derby for 5 whole minutes, and by that I mean I did like the training, sort of,
You
and then I
did.
started missing classes because it was hard, and other reasons. But
Like
it's-
podcasting, it's hard.
It's hard, yeah. So I'm a girl. It's really, it takes a while to like sit and tie up your laces. I
Yeah.
feel like I didn't have to mention that I did derby. I just needed
Okay,
to.
Yes, you did.
can
I
brag.
needed to
Did you have a
tell
roller
them.
derby name?
Yeah, actually, it was going to be ADHD, like AIDY, and like the H stands for like hurricane or something. I didn't get that far. The point is, then Black Canary goes like, "When did she have time to tie her shoes?" I did not.
That's a good, yeah. That was a good
I
moment.
appreciated it because when she skates right out, you're like, oh, what? Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Like,
sure,
just
why
go
not?
with it. We're fighting.
Yeah. I would also like to point out that Journey specifically requested a black hairstylist on set because she wanted to like, it's, you know, obviously it's important for a woman of color and specifically a black woman to have black women doing her hair
Absolutely.
and not just like a white woman who might be hired on set
Yeah.
and might be hired to do everyone else and not be able to work with her like she should be.
And her hair looked really cool.
Yeah.
It did look really cool.
And she got a hair tie. Like,
She did. She got a hair tie.
Really important. I
Small
was-
detail would not
Yeah,
have been in
that's
Suicide
how-
Squad.
Yeah, that's how you know it was, you know, made by women. They got a hair tie in a fight scene. That's great.
I feel like we didn't talk about Huntress's outfit. Huntress
yeah.
has kind of got this
Those
like
cargo pants,
sporty. Yeah. She's got like a tracksuit thing.
It's like
and
a
then
crop
at the
top.
end. Yes.
And then like a big like jacket.
Right.
And she somehow can ride the motorcycle with the big jacket
Sure.
on. I love that. It's cool. I loved the scene where she's on the bike and she has the like rope and she swings Harley around.
Yes.
That was great.
she whips her.
Whipper.
Also, Renee Montoya, most practical running around outfit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
The word goes to.
Sensible shoes.
I liked Harley's gun of surprises.
Oh, it was the
That she
fun
has.
gun.
Oh
The
my God.
fun
I can't
gun.
believe we didn't talk about the fun gun.
Oh, I loved that.
Just
So
wanted to
much
mention.
glitter.
Yeah. I think that was one of my favorite scenes in the movie was the one where she, you know,
I agree.
comes and says she's here to commit a crime. And then she like goes into the precinct and then just the way they filmed it and the like, not only did we have beanbags, we had glitter, we had this like these like beautiful different colored like smoke bombs that were going off and like the lighting was so cool and the action was like, I feel like they did a great job of like slowing down any of the fights like right for like the really good punch or a really
Right
good
when
hit.
like
an
the
excessive
guy
slow-mo.
gets hit with I don't know what it was and he like flips in the air and
Yes.
she's just standing there. I love that stuff.
Yeah,
That's
it
great.
was so good. And I like that every every member of the team had their own kind of like fighting style.
Mm-hmm.
Like Harley definitely reminded me of like a pro wrestler. Like she was like here to get down and get dirty. Like she was like kicking with like both feet. Like she might as well have grabbed like a metal chair and like hit
She has
someone
her
over
cool,
the head.
flashy costume.
Yeah, exactly. And then everyone else had like various styles of like martial arts. Like Renee was just like, you could tell like Krav Maga police training, like brass knuckles. Like Black Canary was using her feet exclusively. I think I
Renee
read this somewhere.
Used handcuffs as brass knuckles in one shot, which I thought ruled.
I did not catch that.
Yeah. And like, Black Canary was using her feet mostly. And I was reading a little bit about the fight choreography, and someone had said, they were like, yeah, we want to make sure that she uses her feet, because if you're using your hands, like if you're working at a club, people are going to see that. But like, you know, your legs and your feet, it's easier to cover up with your awesome gold pants.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, such a good detail.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I like that Cassandra had a cast because she seems like a cast kid.
Yeah,
Right.
Oh my God.
A cast kid.
Just like that one kid that shows up and
Always
you're like,
got a cast.
yeah. You're up to trouble.
And she can stuff inside it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Very
it's tactical.
convenient.
Yeah.
I know. Part of me thinks it was fake.
Oh, that's
just
true.
there to
Yeah.
put things inside.
Yeah. Then Harley finds the belonging in someone else that isn't a man, which is really nice.
And then, Harley's like her mom now, her guardian, I
Yeah.
guess, technically.
Her
It's like her
princess.
big sister.
Yeah,
I
like a
like
big
that,
sister,
yeah.
big brother, big sister kind of Gotham.
Yeah.
I think that's a great relationship. Oh, quick aside, I'm very happy that the booby trap was where this took place. I was kind of wondering like why they're in like a carousel place, because that did feel very like Joker-y. And then it's made clear that this used to be like a Joker and Harley hideout, which I appreciated as someone who loves like the animated series. And like all the best Joker hideouts are an abandoned amusement park.
Clown themed.
Where the entrance is always the mouth of a clown.
Yeah.
God. There's like how many amusement parks?
Exactly.
His brand is strong.
Luckily, there's like at least like 5 to 6 abandoned amusement parks within walking distance of Gotham City at all times.
I don't think Gotham has any working amusement parks.
Well, and then like, of course, like the reason, like Harley shows that like they took all the guns, but also like the ha-ha-has were like written in like lipstick or blood, maybe, I don't know, on a window. And I'm like, I hate that I know that Jared Leto supposedly did that.
Also, RE guns. Very minimal gun usage in this film.
Harley
by the
shoots
protagonist.
that guy in the head and then chucks it.
Yeah.
I really liked that.
That was cool.
She was like, I don't want this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She wants her fun gun.
That was cool.
No, I like that very much as well.
And the fun gun, I especially liked again because like I don't want to watch someone shoot up a freaking anything like that.
Yes.
Just at this point,
That felt like a specific choice.
Yeah.
Like the kind of challenge is how does Harley break into this police station?
right with bean
Get rid of
bags.
all these cops and overpower them. But it's fun. It's fun. You actually like Harley at the end of this. It's like, what if the gun had glitter? We're like, good idea.
The secret is fun and cocaine.
Yes.
Apparently.
Oh, the cocaine. My mom loved the cocaine. My mom texted me. I shouldn't say my mom loved it.
My mom
Keep it and double
loved it.
Keep it and double it. I'm sorry, Mom, that I phrased that way. My mom texted that she specifically liked the like cocaine power up. And I thought it was like a really fun detail. It's like funny in the movie, but also that feels like a fuckboy complaint that you see a lot. That like with John Wick, you're like, oh, he's just like the best and he can keep going.
Right, he's like a tank.
Right. But there's so many movies where people just keep fighting and fighting and fighting. And you're like, any person would be kind of like falling over by this point. So like, how is like Harley going to recharge?
And she doesn't have any superpowers. The only character who has them is Black Canary.
And she does it once.
And she does it one time.
And
then
passes out.
Yeah, as you would.
Which makes sense for someone who has been refusing to use them for so long.
Right.
We're good?
I did do an extremely nerdy thing, and I brought my trade issue of Mad Love by Paul Dini and Bruce Timm.
You did.
And I was going to do a little reading from the foreword by Paul Dini. And this was published in like 2004, 2003 or something. And I think it's still relevant how he mentions this. But he says, it's been a while since we created these stories, but I always look back at them with a lot of pride and affection. I don't think of Mad Love as a victim's tale, but a cautionary one about what happens when someone loves recklessly, obsessively, and for too long. Through Harleigh's tragicomic experiences, we catch a glimpse of ourselves in a funhouse mirror, distorted and all too willing to play the fool for someone we'd be much better off without. And even Harleigh has changed a little in the interim. No longer content to follow after the Joker, she's off on new adventures, both on screen and in the comics. Sometimes she's paired up with her gal pal, Poison Ivy. Sometimes she's out causing mischief on her own. In a way that's gratifying, as no one should stay pining for someone, particularly that someone, for too long. And even when she slips and links up with her old beau again, Harleigh's his equal partner in crime and not the eager-to-please hinch-winch of old. That's not a reformation by a long shot, but it's a tentatively hopeful step in a debatably right direction. And if there's hope for Harley Quinn, then there's hope for the mad lovers and us all.
Yeah.
Yay!
Nice.
Gals being pals.
Just gal pals.
I know. I read that and I was like, I'm with you, Paul. I'm with you. Oh, Paul, no. Don't say gal pal.
We
but
stan a gal pal.
We stand a gal pal. Definitely just friends.
Confirmed bisexual Harley Quinn.
Confirmed. Yeah.
Same girl.
Absolutely.
All right. And then is there anything you guys would like people to check you out at? Emma.
I'm at Thrillist.com writing about stuff every day. I don't know if I publish every day. I should, but yeah, you can find me online there at Thrillist.com/entertainment. I write about, TV, movies, stuff like this that we're talking about right now. So if you like this, then you'll probably like the subjects that I cover in my work. And you can find me on Twitter at Stefansky. It's my name with a typo in it.
Great.
And that's me.
Preeti, do you want to shout out? Where can people find your work?
Sure. You can find me on Twitter mostly at runwithskizzers because I'm an adult. And you can find me on sci-fi.com most days, both writing and podcasting for strong female characters. And you can pre-order some of my many projects over on my website, PreetiChhibber.com. There's Star Wars, there's Marvel. Please go check it out and pre-order my books because it means I can write more books. PreetiChhibber.com. There are lots of extra letters in there, but good luck.
Ashleigh, would you like people to find your work? Or are there any books that you're working on that you would like people to know about?
If you like podcasts and you like specifically D&D podcasts, we are publishing the Critical Role book this September. So if you're interested in that, it's available for pre-order. Also, if you like fun science fiction adventures that maybe feature bisexual space boys in them, I highly recommend Bonds of Brass by Emily Scretzy. That's coming out in April. It's a lot of fun. And if you want to follow me on social media, you can do that at Ashleigh Dearest. I spell my name differently because I am difficult. So
Google it.
Google it. Whatever. But yeah.
And I am Angela Ferraguto. You can follow me at Magnafarda, spelled like how it sounds. I am also an adult. You can follow.
It's a good one.
Thank you. I was really locked that shit in.
Yeah.
You can follow me on Instagram at Magnafarda. I post very silly, dumb comics there.
They're great. They're not silly and dumb. They're silly
you.
and delightful.
Thank you. Kind of like one Harley Quinn. Anyway. And also follow Blank Check Pod, obviously, on Twitter and Instagram. So that about wraps it up. Thanks for listening, guys. I would like to thank Joe Bowen and Pat Reynolds for their artwork. Thank you to Lane Montgomery for our theme song. Thank you to me for our social media.
Thank you, Angela.
Thank you, Ange.
Thank you to Rachel Jacobs for editing.
Thank you, Rachel.
You can go on Reddit for some real nerdy shit, blankies.reddit. You can go to TeePublic for some real nerdy shirts. And then also keep an eye on our social channels because we will be posting some new merch on the horizon on a special website that will also be posting our live shows. We do have tickets still available for our show on March 23rd at the Bell House at the 10 p.m. show. So if you are in New York, March 23rd, come see Blank Check.
I'm going.
Live. Griffin and David will be there. I will be there. And Ben will be there. And we're going to do that. And as always, girls rule and boys stroll.
Yeah.
Break their legs. Great. Just as a heads up, Preeti, we're going to do like a open Griffin always opens the show with like a quote from a movie, and then he just throws in the word podcast.
And sometimes blank check.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain.
There's gonna and then just mentally prepare yourself for the ad reads, which are equally as stupid.